February, March, napadulong na or kuan. Summer.
Uh-oh, why is not working?
Nakauwi po ni September po. Tanawon lang ning nursery po hon. Pray lang nga.
So what's up with you? Uh-oh.
Just waiting on you to get here.
Oh, I see you making noise, but I do that. And we know what Jesus was when he was a man on earth. What was his profession? Was he a doctor?
Carpenter.
He was a heavenly doctor, but what was Jesus' work?
Carpenter.
But that's his heaven. But when he was a man on earth,
Panday to si Lord Jesus.
Jesus
Panday to
was
siya.
a carpenter. Because we know Jesus is the foundation. Jesus is the foundation. But also the builder. Without us, without the carpenters, the workers, there's no building. Without Jesus, there's no building, heavenly building for us. And then once though I became, and Jesus came in, and it's like, oh, Jesus, please forgive me for my sins. I could feel right away, boom, the God coming in me. And so it's no longer me. I feel me in there because I'd rather go steal a chicken and have a dinner. I think that's us. Hello, everybody. Stephen, welcome. And I'm hoping to get Andrew on. He said he was going to come read the, I look bad. Read a scripture for us. Let me get out of that. Looks better. I had my hat on
Sweet.
today. So
What's on your show for tonight, Dan?
Got a couple funny naturey things, and then I was hoping. Oh, did you get my message? Yeah, let me do this, and then I'll message you. Let's see, we got some comments. That's just those comments, but
yeah, I got the message about unbanning a certain somebody for the evening, but I just really don't want to unban Aiden. I mean, he's a terrible human being. Really just the worst of the worst, and he has not retracted any of the many, many, many lies or slanders he's told. So,
no,
truthfully, I'd rather him watch from a distance and just miss out. He deserves to miss out.
I was gonna give him a chance to apologize tonight, but as the person who has more common sense than I do, it's probably a good idea. Because actually, I had it all loaded up. Oh, I should show you this one. Because he's still lying, saying that I fat shamed Brianna and his significant other, or whatever you want to call her. And so, and that's really when he started. And he started timing me out or talking through me like he did on Gigi's show. And I love Gigi, and Gigi actually gave me a high monitor position before, so that just because Aiden was timing me out, And Gigi likes pretty much everybody. He seems to just be nice with everybody and want that. But here's I'll read this again. So through our time, of course, Aiden, who is a nasty person and admits it. It's not like I'm saying anything he doesn't say about himself, because he can say, I'm not a Christian, quoting him, quote, I'm not a Christian. I don't need to follow any, niceness. And he was fat shaming other people in the community. And I went behind the scenes. I was like, instant messaged him. And I was like, hey, dude, and I didn't really know because I just had seen Brianna briefly. Said, you know what? I think, if I saw right, she was kind of pudgy. And how does she feel where you're fat shaming another member of the community? And then he comes out public and says, Dan's fat shaming Brianna. Dan Pozzi is a horrible person. PG's is a horrible thing. And so he stopped shutting up pretty much on that when I was around and could talk to him, because here is again, he shut up every time I'd use the dictionary, but here's the one on fat shaming. The act or practice of subjecting someone perceived as fat or overweight to criticism or mockery. I didn't do that. I was trying to kind of get his humanity stirred, saying, hey, if Brianna hears that and if she's chubby, what is she going to think?
So wait a
Him,
minute. Observing someone trying to squeeze between a door frame is fat shaming now?
Well, the key is I didn't fat shame her, because as you see the definition, the act or practice of subjecting someone perceived as, the person doesn't even have to be fat. I went to him behind the scenes to try to get him not to fat shame somebody else, him bringing it public, and I can use her name now because he did it on purpose, as he admitted on another show, I do believe, that he just did it to get the community against me. He didn't really care. Well, it's because he's the one that fat shamed. Me using it behind the scene, even if I thought she was fat, is not putting her to, or the person to, criticism or mockery. That's the person that lets it out. So Aiden is the one who actually not just fat shamed Lupin, a member of our community, but he's the one that fat shamed Brianna. And when I showed him the definition a couple times, he started blocking me. He got Gigi to rescind my moderator or whatever, that badge, whatever you want to call it. So now he can talk through me and time me out. So I was going to have him come on so he could apologize, because he should apologize to Brianna, the one he says he loves, because he brought it out in public. So he's the one that fat shamed her, not me. Definitions, sorry people, words. And that's the funny thing, is because he acts, and I thought he was smart. And obviously he wasn't, because he didn't know the definition. And once I even showed him, he still doubled down on it. Of course he did, because he's got the narrative. First time he ever communicated to me on Facebook was saying, don't believe, I think it was Lupin and Stump. Don't believe them. They lied. And it's like, how often do you, first time I would have met you, Stephen, if I would have went, well, Stephen, don't listen to these two people because they lied to me. It's like, or lied about me or lied something. It's like, what a sniveling little, and we know that because he's a darkened, blind soul. And so it's just funny that every time him and I have gotten into something, whether it's Bible, whether it's this, and it just, I just feel real sorry for him, because poor guy, Stephen, you remember being in dark state before you had Christ come into your life. I remember that. So that's where I don't feel, I feel empathy for him, because I remember being exactly the way he was. Not that bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so there was a time where I was an enemy to the gospel, but I was never an atheist or militant against God. Never. So, no, we're not quite the same. Like, yeah, there was a time in my life I was away from God for sure, and I sinned a whole big bunch, but I never blasphemed on purpose. I never mocked the faith. I never tried to blaspheme God to his face. Aiden and I are not the same.
No, that is true. The blindness, we were blind. Yes. And that in imperfection, we're all imperfect, but Hitler is a little more imperfect. Aiden, a little more, not more imperfect, but just more sinful. Oh, what's the show about tonight, Dan? It's this is president of Proverbs Guys venting Mod. How are you? Fat shaming saves lives. Well, I don't like to hurt people's feelings, and poor Brianna, and I can say her name now, Mod, because she came on one show one time after Aiden had told her what an awful person I was, and actually cussed me out, addressed me personally. So now I can say her name. I won't say it on Gigi's show because Aiden cried so much and whined so much, and that's the way Satan does. His he will get people motivated by different ways. Oh, Stephen went bye-bye. Missing Mod. Let me get your link. You owe me a monologue if you're feeling up to it. I miss your monologues. Let me get this out there into the. You're back. Good.
Sorry, Dan. I made a boo-boo because I'm on my cell phone.
Ah. Oh, and you tried to open something or you answered a phone or something.
No, I meant to hit the camera button so I could turn my camera on,
Oh,
but I hit the back button instead, so it backed me out of the studio. That was awkward.
oh, good. You're just trying to make me feel better there because people like it when we show our faces, and it looks like you were having a hat day too. Um,
I just got my hair cut. You can't tell right now, but it looks clean.
I didn't say it was dirty. I just said I had a hat on today, and made it look. And actually, it was so cute today. And for you women out there, who you do control the world. Don't give me that. Steph will say yes. She knows that. Did I give the link out there yet? And
I did. I didn't save it though, but the link's out there.
oh,
I think
okay.
it works.
How do you actually do that?
From a cell phone, it was rather hard.
How
I
do I
wouldn't
do that?
recommend it.
Oh, but I'm not on Facebook. I'm not part of the Facebook thing, so I
Right.
probably can't post it out there. Link it.
I think you could. Yeah, yeah. All we have, it's already in. Actually, are you watching, honey? Can you go on YouTube and pin that? Krista's gonna pin it, Dan.
Oh, cool. Because if Maud's up to it, how you doing, Maud? She hasn't been up to herself lately, and feeling bad. She was going to come in and do a Maud monologue because I missed that on her show. And so there. Oh, I was telling Krista that was the president's rant of the day.
Okay.
Just because, I don't, you know, when I'm on called all stuff, and I don't think, we don't probably like it, but it's like I don't care. I mean, I expect people not to like me. I'm not for a popularity contest, especially when you put Jesus Christ out there and try to follow him. We're not going to do it
Dan,
perfectly.
Dan, if we were out to make friends, we would not have publicly endorsed and befriended Kent Hovind. Okay. We're out to share the gospel, like him, and we're gonna collect a lot of haters. I just expect it.
And and which actually, again, for me, that is, and Claude will probably come on later. Um, Claude has been coming on my Sunday show, and we're having good chats, and we are the same age, so a lot of his humor is kind of lost on the other generations. Um, but you look at that, and he said, and I can say this because we talked about it. Oh, I mean, he said it openly, or no, that maybe this was in a message thing, but that Kent Hovind's a con, or what is he? Sure, whatever, that he's out there, and it's like, dude, you've got 300, what is it? 350,000 missing children under the Obama administration, and he's going to attack a guy with 168 acres. How much is DAL? 100
174 acres.
174 acre creation camp. You know what? There's other. I don't see him doing any. Who's that? Benny Hinn, who is really fleecing a lot of people. And there's Kenneth Copeland, who is totally stealing from people. And I don't see Claude doing any videos against Benny Hinn, or who is really doing big time damage and stealing from the poor people, old widows, that, send me your money and you'll get, I don't see them doing that. For them to totally, and that's actually dirty little secret, guys. As president of the United States, as president of Proverbs Guys, and we're almost head of the United States.
We're at the top.
We're above the president of the United States, but we support Kent Hovind's preaching of the gospel and his creation and defense of the Bible. And the dirty secret, people, is that I when I first came, a year and a half ago, and I've been in the community, but not the live part. And you remember that I'd like listen to these people, and again, I had Aiden say, "Oh, that Stump," and that, which was closer to the Proverbs guys at that time, and Lupin, and it was like, "Oh, don't listen to them; they're liars." And so it's like I took everything, and then it's like just watched, and to see how much heat. Achilles.
No way.
Achilles.
Yeah, man.
The Proverbs team is here.
Hey, man, now there's 3 of us. They're in danger.
Now,
Oh, man, I can't believe my eyes. Let me wash my eyes. Cause how you guys doing?
I'm doing great now that Stephen let me rant.
I'm good. I just had to let Dan talk about fat shaming for a little bit, and now we're leaning into the gospel. We got it all out.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I was saying though, and you too, Achilles, is that the fact that they attack Kent Hovind. Hopefully, he's not listening, because even though he's one of the top creationist defenders and apologists in the world, he still only has 175, whatever you said it was, acre creation center. He's not a big fish in the world situation, but the reason that, and I am supporting him so much, is because he has so much hate. And I was telling him, Achilles, the last administration here in the United States, they lost. And this was in Congress. They said, hey, where are those 350,000 missing children?
Yeah, no.
We don't know. But what I'm saying is that there's no videos in this community on where's the children? Where's the 350,000 children missing? No,
They don't care, Dan.
Because
none of those people are debunking evolution, and none of those people are trying to bring souls to Christ. None of those people are telling people to stop sinning. They're just not, so they don't care.
And I remember something I used to be before getting saved, like 20 years before getting saved. I was a Marilyn Manson fan. I loved his music. That was way before he started taking Bibles and tearing them apart on the scene, on the stage. Like, all right, that was like a lot of years before he started doing stuff like that. But at some point, he said, he got asked, why are you using this image of being evil? Does it sell? to be like the Antichrist? Does it sell? And he said, no, it's not that it's selling, but it's easier for the people to see an evil face on a singer than on their own president. So I take that image. So they still think that they have like good presidents and they have bad singers, you know? So yeah, people,
and we have both.
yeah, people will not see that we are run by people who like the whole child thing, let me just call it that, is off charts. We have never seen anything like that in history. And they will not, they close their eyes on that one and they start attacking a creationist because he destroyed their narrative. He destroyed there's a reason why they're doing it, because they have to admit that there's a God, and they would go to extreme lengths to not accept that. So
Well, and you're probably not surprised that it wasn't until the George Bush and that whole Iraq craziness that I was, flag waving, United States flag waving, like, whoa, the United States is all this and it's great, and I still think we're the greatest country out of the slime ball countries in the world, but the thing
Greatest
is
at
that
what?
Bush,
Stephen asked a good question.
oh,
Compared to
what?
what?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Out of
I'm
out of all the,
I had a good time in the U.S., but I still left to come back to Greece, and I was kissing the ground at the airport. So
No, look, I love my country, but we have a terrible education system, a rogue justice system, an executive branch that has accumulated more power than our founding fathers ever dreamed of, and all of our congressmen and senators are on payroll for lobbyists. I mean, we're the number one country for debt just to support our imploded military that's extremely inflated and out of date. And on top of that, we're the most wicked, idolatrous, LGBT pro country in the world. Like, I just don't know what we're number one at anymore.
okay, we're not the most. Greece is probably more than we. No, Greece.
well,
I'm
look.
joking. I'm joking with Greece, but
No, you don't. It's
look
not
at
even.
Germany,
It's the
Great
truth
Britain.
actually. But Stephen, I'm not gonna tell you to go watch my video. But I did upload a video that is gonna make you feel a little better.
Part three.
Because yeah, it's the whole thing just shows how the justice system in Greece is like utterly sold out. So it's gonna make you feel better. But at some point, I'm saying that people think that their country has fallen and they're looking for saviors, and it's happening worldwide. But people just don't realize that the whole world has fallen. There is no good
Yep.
side anymore. Like if even
No.
pick any subject, you cannot be with any side. They are all working for the same cause. They're gonna bring up the Antichrist. There is only one book that is telling us that the world has fallen. Now, if you go there, it doesn't say your country has fallen and the other country hasn't. It says the world has fallen. So we gotta, yeah, gotta admit it. It's not one country, guys. It's every country. And one thing that makes me sad is to see a lot of people having a lot of hope in presidents and getting so behind them. One thing that is good with Greece is that we at least understand that they're all sellouts. We made it there. But there's a lot of people that disappoint me in the US that they're backing up one candidate so much and they're hating the brother and sister. I've heard things like, oh, they drowned. Well, they're a blue state. They deserve what they got. So the enemy wins if you are like that.
Yep.
No, exactly, and it's division, whether in the church, in society, people want us divided,
Divide and conquer.
and that's what
Yep.
Satan, because he doesn't care. He's not like he's rooting for all of it, all of them, all countries to go down. And here's a good question from Missing Mod. Do you guys have a better idea? For me, and we can go around the table. I with George Bush, I was like, oh yeah, mass destruction. We got to take down Iraq, and
He
even
didn't.
though we knew it wasn't, they had nothing to do with 9/11, but that dude was just evil. I would have just shot a.
Every dude is evil. They're all evil. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. Like they've stepped on a lot of people to make it where they are.
Exactly. Oh, but let me answer Steph's question here. Is that, but when that happened, and I'm all about, I don't care, about evil, and Saddam Hussein was above the step, evil with his two sons that would feed people to their lions and stuff in public. At least the United States, they do it kind of in private, but we know they're evil. But I would have no problem with taking those guys out with a cruise missile and say, okay, the next
No,
leader, you
okay,
better
wait.
treat your people better. But when we got in there and we tried to manipulate their system and nation build, and we spent trillions of dollars, thousands of lives, it's like, you guys are straightway, man, stay out of the
Dan, before they label us for terrorists,
business.
yeah, let me interrupt you here and just tell Maud that there is a problem with that question that you're asking. If you see a problem, not seeing a better idea doesn't mean that the problem is not there. Like, not having a better idea for how to solve the problems doesn't mean that we don't see that they are not actually solving the problems. They are creating their problems. They just passed a bill and made the whole country bucket, and it sucks.
Say that again.
All you gotta do is read it and see what it does. This big beautiful bill that they just passed, for 10 years, for 10 years, you are not allowed to criticize AI on any level. Whatever they do with AI from now on, for 10 years, you have no say. And that is in a bill that they are pretending that it's for you. They passed some laws about not taxing the wind turbines because they are green energy. So from next summer, if not this summer too, expect the worst fires in the history of the United States because they want to install wind turbines. So I do have an answer to your question, Steph. I have a better idea. The Bible tells us in at least 10 different spots to have nothing to do with this world, to not love the world. This world is passing away. Love one another. It is going to pass away. Voting for one president to stop it, it ain't going to work. It's an illusion. And hello, sister. Nobody said hi.
Hello, guys. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
I'm doing great.
We don't have manners, but we're doing good.
No, I am sensitive. If a woman wants to be talked to, she'll say hi. In my knowledge, women control the world. So if she wants to say something, she would have said hi.
I would just start talking over everybody. No,
I know it, yeah, right? No, no. It's actually that I'll do my testimony on that. It was just Gemma yesterday or the day before. She was like, "I think you need to shave, or you should shave." Just a comment, not "you should shave." Get in there, And it was the sweetest way she said it. And I know I don't like to shave, so I don't care. But her saying that is like, I was so happy to shave. It's like ouch, ouch, and I'm too cheap to buy new razors, so I use them until they start pulling out the hair. And so yeah, it was just so much. But I wouldn't have shaved. But she controlled me.
Delivery is everything.
Oh, it is. We're gonna share some.
I didn't bring it up yet.
Oh,
I'm sorry for that. Wait.
Sorry.
So You brought it up. I didn't bring it on the screen yet because I'm looking.
Διατηρήσουμε το...
Okay, wait. Don't.
Okay, I'll let you control it. I forgot.
Yeah, because I'm going to go back now to see the time where I have a moment of John MacArthur saying something about the world, and that's what I was looking for. So yeah, go on, proceed. Who was talking?
Oh, here's another missing mod. I never said you were yelling. You don't have to yell. You know, just the way you present stuff. You get me like I'm at attention. I'm a good boy. You know, Mod, you're kind of like the to me, you're the community mother. I try to rebel, but you know, if you're talking, I gotta listen. On mine with the just to finish that up with American, what's the better thing is my thing is obey the authorities, and it is because you know God uses a government to actually punish the people, and so my prayer is just I just try to walk a straight line, pray that everybody else does too, and we will get the government that God uses government to punish us, I believe.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And so
in the video that I've been working for 5 months, that people are not watching because it's like long, and for me it was 6 months long. So at some point I'm saying to Greece, for all the things that are happening right now, that this is what we deserve. That we deserve it. We deserve it because we've turned to Mary worshippers, because we are believing in some prophecies that are outside of the Bible, and we've made them biblical, but they're not. And we consider it gospel. And if you ask somebody what the book of Revelation says about this world, they don't even know. So orthodoxy is somewhat here, telling people that the Old Testament, you know, it's not a Christian book. It is like the Jews, and there are fairy tales in it, like Adam and Eve. So this brings a curse if you say that. And I'm telling them that if you were to read the Old Testament, you would see what happened to the Jews when they worshipped the Queen of Heaven. And I bring up Wikipedia asking who is the Queen of Heaven, and it says, according to Orthodoxy, the Queen of Heaven is Mary. So we completely deserve what we got, and then take that and multiply it worldwide.
no, exactly.
What you said, Dan, about the war, it's not one, it's 50 years of wars.
Yes.
And, and every country has its own history. And if you look up what happened there, you'll see that there was a hidden hand, a hidden American hand behind what happened. And it's not the people, but the people get to pay for it. And then Europe is the reason, every country in Europe is the reason that Africa is suffering from all the colonialism, like Portugal, Spain, the United Kingdom, France, Germany. And when they talk about Africa, they blame it all to the United States, like, oh, it's you and the slavery part. No, yeah, go a little further forward in time, because when Americans stopped having slaves, Europe continued. It just was silent about it. So it's the whole world. Now we have excluded China, but yeah, let's not get into China, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, India is worshipping six-headed goddesses. It hasn't like even made it to realize that there is one God. Let me just play this 1 minute. It's I think it's less than a minute, about what are we supposed to do.
I think disappointment is related to the fact that you're expecting too much. And I want to help you to understand that and to see that in a biblical way. You're less likely to be disappointed if you expect nothing. And in a real, true sense, from the world, you should expect nothing. Nothing that is going to assist, enable, aid, enhance, and enrich the kingdom of God. They're not an ally. They're the enemy.
And here I proceed saying, I was talking to Americans about Trump, but then I say, don't worry though, Greeks are worse. So at least nobody can tell me that I'm like, biased, like I hate some country, like, oh, you hate Americans. No, I don't hate Americans. I wouldn't be here. I have American friends. I'm saying the same things about my country. We have rulers right now, rulers that we deserve. We have a saying here in Greece that we have arrived to a point as a civilization, as people, that instead of working to buy a goat, we pray for the neighbor's goat to die. And that, God sees that. God sees how we treat each other. God sees how we look at each other. There are so many things happening worldwide and people don't give a shit. I'm sorry for the expression. Even 2 days ago, what happened in Texas? I don't see anybody here on this YouTube video talking about it. We still have little children missing, taken by a river. I was expecting some live streams just talking about it and praying about it. We don't, because it's another state. And if it's another state, it's not my country. It's like it's a different country. And I know there was a lot of rain where you are, Maud, as well. But what happened in Texas was just very tragic. I hated the response of the government. It happened to be, hey, come back, Krista. Their Wi-Fi seems to have an issue, it says.
Yeah, that's what.
I need a minute. Gotta feed my dogs. You guys
Very
go
good.
on.
Great statement, because the world governments are run by Satan, but allowed to go wherever they're going to go by God. And we are to respect the authorities and just pray the heck, live peaceful lives, and pray that that God is going to heal all the lands. But it is because of the sinfulness, and with the Jewish people, like,
But that, yeah, but that too, my brother, I think is wishful thinking,
yes,
because the Bible doesn't say that this world will be healed. It says it will perish, and a new world will be created where there will be no tears, there will be no pain, there will be no suffering, because all these belong to the old world. So if this world gets fixed, what is that verse talking about?
oh, correct. But I'm just saying that it can go, if the people call out to God, he won't use a government to punish people that are following him. Unfortunately, the world, even the Christian United States, the Bible Belt, that Bible Belt, I think God took off the belt and started using it against us, because we do need discipline. And you have that, just the hearts, the evil hearts. And go feed those dogs.
Yeah,
God.
what you're saying, I find very interesting. I do gotta need 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Very good. I will
I
play.
love that expression. God used the belt to whip us a little bit. Yeah, I like that.
That's what kept me in line. Mod,
But I do think that the Bible Belt is like trying to press the brakes on a bus that doesn't have brakes. That's it. I mean,
Yeah, things have gone up and down though. Revivals have happened, and God will. Yeah, He uses governments to punish people, the evil doers, and so no, Mod, I totally agree that God sets up the governments um, to punish the murderers, like it says, and evil
I'll
doers.
be right back.
Okay, sir. Um, and but again, I I just big bad mama oven didn't what? He went somewhere. I heard. Um that's funny. Well, that's too bad. So that's just because I didn't go to protect him. I bet that was it. Um next year, the god of evolution was a no-show. Well, BBM, how was it? Why don't you come on and give us a report in case it's not there. I'll hopefully that's the link. Yeah, because I really wanted to go just to meet all you, my atheist friends. Robin said she was going to be there. Oh, cool. Now that's actually what I did. Hope I had the time and money to go back there. It was we're planning on opening this new regenerative nursery, supporting developmentally disabled folks here in the community. We're hoping to open the end of July. We're hoping June 21st, but missed that opening. But it was fun. I should show if you saw some of the Rob and I would have liked to have met you. Yeah, it would have been fun because we can like I said, one of my best friends in the day, and I just had seen him like last month, he called himself communist leaning, but did not like organizations. So he didn't join the Communist Party. So he wasn't a card carrying atheist because, or a communist because he doesn't trust people. So we used to have a great time chatting, and you would have liked it. Big Bad Mama was back in George Bush days when I when I started turning from I turned from my flag waving, Republican Party, God bless America thing, and with the whole Iraq thing, which the guy, I could have still been supporting taking out Saddam, because it turns out that he actually was the one that made the world think that he had weapons of mass destruction. So, he puffed himself up. Nobody's going to attack me if they think I got him, unfortunately. But when you sit there in your nation building, no, all you got to do is if there is somebody you think's threatening the world, like these Iranian mullah dudes who religiously are trying to bring in Armageddon with a nuclear weapon, just like some of the wacko Christians want, New Jerusalem, but that's calling in for the it's calling for the destruction of the world. So we get the tribulation coming in. I kind of pray that it stays away from as long as possible. And Mod is a economist. Does that mean you like communicating? Let's see. Big Bad Mama. The Iraq invasion was a debacle, horrible consequences. I think the horrible thing was when Obama shipped over billions of dollars on pallets of U.S. cash, which was against the law because they were sanctioned, and that he didn't get punished for it because it was against the law. And people, we hope, and I think Obama, Big Bad Mama, you would also hope that there's a semblance of fairness, equal justice under the law, but another pipe dream. A con artist. Okay. I think we're all con artists in our ways. It started back when, you'd have to con mom or dad. Philip now he's, 12, but he's still, Mom. And it's like, no, I already said an answer. Don't ask her. So we all learn as a species to manipulate. And did I miss one? That's it. You keep Maud, you should come on in. Is this the other one? I have patriotism too. I do also, because we are to, I would say, not worship our government, but, honor it. It's give honor and respect to those that God put above us. And again, I would say for those who dislike or think the United States is such a bad country, is that you have these people protesting the United States. One lady was cussing the heck out of the United States. She wasn't going to celebrate 4th of July because it was such an awful place. But you have all these illegal immigrants that are risking everything to come here. Like I said, a guy I know, his family put their farm up to get him $20,000 so he could come. They gave the money to the cartels, and that's my whole thing politically, which is so sad, is that I would have loved him to come in the door, give the United States government $5,000 so we can, and even just use the money to check them out, check out who they are like they used to. We used to have, back in the day here, we were an apple growing community, and they would vet the workers coming in. They would come in for, whatever apple season, go out for a couple months, come back in. You'd have your door open. Not me. We didn't have enough money to have a big apple ranch, but the people I know that had hundreds of acres of apples, the door would be open, and the migrant workers the legal workers would have access to the house. They would, be at the parties. And now, since I am in the industry, I know some people. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that now because you don't know who these people are. And so even this kid who was kind of an obnoxious, prideful little guy, but he spent $20,000. He was in pretty well slave labor. If you have to work for somebody to pay off your indebtedness, whatever they want you to do, that's kind of, you're under their control. And if he wouldn't have paid off the $20,000, they would have taken the family farm in Guatemala. I mean, that is horrible. And to think that the open borders crowd, that is what you're doing. Welcome, Claude.
Hello.
Hello, Claude. So are you out since you didn't go meet Big
I
Bad
mean,
Mama and
yes, I'm
Robin?
not in America, but I understand Kent didn't turn up. After all his talking and chicken noises that he was making on his previous shows, and he didn't turn up.
I do not know because I didn't turn up either.
Yeah, yeah. Well, wasn't
Um,
Stephen was there? Well, there wasn't he? Well,
uh,
with Stephen was with Kent. He was going to go as well. So maybe they both. I don't know. I have to tell you.
yeah,
But I see Big Bad Mama in the comments saying that no, Kent didn't turn up.
yeah, because they were
Maybe,
supposed to be
maybe he
heading
got
up, and
run over by that giant whatever crab or whatever.
yeah, that they were going to bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's too bad.
That
So,
giant idol. I can't believe it. The people putting up idols in a Christian camp.
well, idols is only if you worship them, though.
Well, he does. He wants people to pay money for it and blah blah. That's worshipping it. Yeah, terrible. Oh,
No, no,
never
when
mind. You know what Jesus would have done? He would have cooked the crab and fed 5,000 people with it. Yeah.
well, yeah, he could take a fiberglass or whatever it's made out of,
Yeah,
whatever it is, and he could have turned that into real food. You are right on that one,
he
but
could have done that. No, God,
yeah,
I
because
don't
they
know.
had the
What's the world
serpent.
coming to? What is the world coming to these days when you can't cook a crab and feed 5,000 people?
Exactly. Um, but if you, oh, I said I had low power. What am I supposed to turn off?
Uh
Oh, I
oh.
got 20. That's plenty. Um, no, it's fun. So, God had the people carry around the Aaron's rod that had the snake on top of it. No, that was Moses's. Whoever it was, the one that had the snake on top of it, and they
Yeah.
carried that around a long time until people started worshiping it. When the worship
Yeah.
happened, then it's kind of like
I've
you
always said that. I've said
humanitarian.
never worship a snake. I've said I try and rule that out of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw one and I almost put it, but it was not. It didn't show much, but it was off the coast of Brazil, I believe, or Colombia, down there. An island just full of snakes, and the
Oh no.
governments actually forbid people from going because some of those snakes are some of the most venomous snakes in the world. And I just showed pictures. Of course, they might have been fake, but just like hundreds or thousands of snakes. That's a place I don't want to go, and so that.
Are you thinking? Oh, right. I was going to think. Was there a collection to send you there, Dan?
I hope not. I can only eat so many of them before they eat me.
Right.
Um, just had I'd have
Uh,
to have like a whole shipload of butter and garlic though if I got to that island. And
I see Missing Mod in the chat says get some cats, which is quite right. Have you seen the video? When cats can usually outdo a snake. Yeah, they can get in there and yeah, they're
they can
quicker.
outdo. But they were saying there was hundreds of them or thousands of them per whatever, and they use that ungodly measurement of meters or that thing.
All right,
So
instead of a
I
cubit. Please, in future, only talk. And it's a Christian show. I prefer you to talk in cubits. Okay.
No, this is American, isn't
Oh,
America
okay.
the New Jerusalem? Did you hear that cult? People who think that New Jerusalem, and you had the Mormons that think that Jerusalem was in god awful Missouri or something. And
Oh, is that the Mormons? Yes. All right.
the Mormons, yeah, which is kind of a dirty little secret because Joseph Smith said it would be in the possession of God's people forever, and they got booted from it. So now it's the Reformed um, Mormon that own that property. Last I heard, so even on Joseph Smith's prophecy, the Mormons are not God's people. Um, but always fun just to follow all the leads where they go, all the little roads, and yeah. So in Mormonism, though, I'm sure the foot is the God's measure. even though the metric is so much easier, it's still I can't even speak Spanish after.
Wait a minute. So God approves of the imperial system, which is feet and inches, but he's not so keen on metrics. Is that right?
I That's what I'm going with because I'm too stupid to figure it out. Centimeters about like this, and then I got times it by 10, and
Mm.
I'm kind of almost now. Gemma's helping because 2.2. A pound. What's the weight?
Well,
What's the
I want to
weight?
enroll you in a good old course in maths at Kent Hovind School at DLL. You can learn math, and then you'll be able to do the metric. Yeah, far easier.
And take more than that. Um,
No, I think you'll be
just
good.
rewiring my brain. Sorry, I would probably turn Kent into an atheist if he had to teach me. Um,
Oh, oh well. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, my mom tried hard. She was a teacher, and so she would try to. She had these old books. She was a teacher in the 50s. She had those old Dick and Jane books or whatever they had in the United States school system.
Dick in who?
Dick and Jane or something.
Okay.
It was teaching how to read. Um, Somebody had a.
Well, there's nothing like a good old fashioned Dick in Jane book, as far as I've heard.
And I might be wrong with that. You know what? I think you sure it wasn't the French? Oh, you said you were part English. Oh, it doesn't matter. It was the French or the
Yeah.
Spanish anyway. That because the you would love the Philippine language in Basayan or
Yeah.
Sebahana.
I love you, handsome man.
No, the
Me
like
love you long time. Yeah.
no the
What are the
nose
other ones? Yes.
nose is be big. Oh no, that's the
Ah.
mouth. Nose is elong. Mouth is be big. Um, the and you'll love this one, I know. The what babies get nourishment from are called toy. Um,
Ah.
yeah, so somebody with
I
English.
used to like to play with toy when I was a baby. Mm.
Yeah, so
Toys with
so it must
toys.
it must have been one of your relatives that helped create the Visayan language.
Uh, oh,
Um,
Big Bad Mama says hello in the chat. I can't reply because I'm blocked from the chat. So
what?
I could type a response, but I don't think it will show. Let me do a testing.
Let's do a
Hello.
test.
Yeah. Um. I don't. Can you see anything with me saying hello? Hello.
Let
No.
me see.
I'm blocked. But Big Bad Mama, you can tell us in the chat how things went, or can come on. Is it finished now? The meeting? Yeah, right. Yeah. Look, no, I'm blocked. Yeah. Anyway, Big Bad Mama, it's yes. I was looking forward to hearing about the encounter. No doubt someone will put some stuff up. But
I hope
yeah.
so. And actually, yeah, if you would advertise it, because I'd like to see it. And yeah, would have been a great time.
No
No, I
doubt
was
I'll be having a field day with it, Yeah, so it's such a shame that Kent didn't turn up. Hmm. Never mind.
yeah.
Must have been part of God's mysterious plan. Yeah.
Uh, well, well,
That's what normally, if I would say that if I was a Christian. Yes, I thought I'd say some Christian things today on the show. Ah, it's all part of God's mysterious plan. You
that
know.
I I totally agree. That's what some Christians would say. Or, but if it was against his plan and God really wanted him to go, then it would have been Kent's sin that kept him from there. If God didn't want him there, then it's
I
God's.
don't think he was down to sin that day. He doesn't need to do it every day. So no, he would have had time. Yeah.
Well, disobeying God, that is sin. That's missing the
Oh,
mark. That's imperfection. And not that he wouldn't
as
be
long as it
forgiven
isn't
for it.
missing the mud. That's the important thing, you know.
Yes. How are you doing, Maud? Did you answer that? Because I wasn't really paying attention.
I seen Maud has got a number 1 and a crown beside her name.
Yeah, what is that?
I
I've
don't
got a
know. She
3.
mean she must be one of the leading commenters. BBM's got a crown and a number 3.
Oh, I thought I had a 3.
People more think of Claude as a load of number 2, but yeah.
I was telling Stephen how your and my humor, a lot of people don't get our humor.
No, no. Oh, Big Bad Mama says that they met a few of the names, the people that they met there, and sounded had a good meeting. So that's good. So mainly, it was the horrible atheist that turned up.
Well, it was an atheist, not protest, but an atheist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever,
Mama,
rally
what was it
or
called?
yeah, yeah. It was a
Yeah,
great chance for Kent to evangelize and spread the word.
man, a lot of these guys I didn't even know. That would have been fun.
Oh, Robin
Carisu,
was there. Robin sometimes comes on here,
yeah,
doesn't
Robin. I
doesn't she?
really wanted to meet Robin and Big Bad Mama. I don't know Carisu, ambushed apostate, godless engineer, Mandisa. I thought that was the same. Oh, Mandisa Thomas. The skeptic. I've heard of them.
That's
Jake.
like a Bible name. Jesus said, "Man, this a Thomas." That's when Jesus was portrayed as a black man, which of course some people say he was.
Oh,
Oh, because some creationists came on their trucks and yelled us to get out of town. Big Bad Mother says.
oh, that's funny.
Oh
And
dear!
that's the thing. And
I
as you
bet
guys,
they could barely grunt. I mean,
oh come on, Claude. They have um more weapons and probably
yeah, they
louder,
probably do have
manly
some.
voices than the atheists do. But all right, I was just playing back to your same thing. No, that would have been fun. I I guess people do think my fun, but I would have loved to gone up and talk to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, it would
Um,
have been. You could have done a bit like the introduction you have for your show when you're speaking to
ah,
the Philippine people. Yeah, that would have gone down very well. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Achilles, why aren't you back?
I am.
Oh, Achilles. Oh,
Hello.
there. Oh, that's a good question. How do you know they were creationists? They could have just.
I said, did they shout, God made the world in 6 days?
Um, yeah, because the Kentuckians aren't they kind of it's kind of like Texas people. They're all Christians, and even though they
In
don't believe it,
name,
they
anyway.
still
In name.
believe. Yeah, and that's what the whole thing of somebody calling. I could call myself a communist, and you would know by my history. And right now, trying to start a profitable business for a nonprofit organization to raise funds. It's like, oh, Dan, you don't practice it though. Um, and yeah, it's just
You
again,
could get advice from Brady Byram. He's very good at structuring businesses to avoid not have to pay tax. You could speak to him.
or you
Well,
just
there, there definitely are some that only get into religion for that reason, to avoid tax. Like, well, how are they called? Scientologists, and a
All
lot of
right.
others who see this, but there are others who are doing it for the actual cause. So
Yeah, so I
The
would
lo-
like to ask Big
those
Bad Mama
those that
why.
are trying, I'm sorry, those that are trying to evade tax are usually like trying to start a different cult, specific, like they can call themselves a distinct religion in order to evade tax. So
Well, that was Elon Musk, who I guess made a contract with the Tesla not to take a salary, but to take stock options because that way it's taxed at a lower amount. So if we got yeah, if you got income, then you have to have income tax. But if you take stock options, then it's the capital gains, which is a lot less.
well,
And
Musk is experienced in evading taxes. He knows that stuff well.
what's that?
He knows how to evade taxes. I mean, he's good at it.
Well, it's not evading taxes. That's evading is illegal, but the government, and that's why Trump actually won the first time, was because she went after him for not paying taxes, and he goes, "Hey, I'm legally paying what you guys and your rich friends have put into laws." And that was one of those times. It's like Hillary, like got it by the neck because yeah, she was there for how many years? She was in government along with Bill. They're worth 100+ million dollars, if not more, on a public salary. So, it's that's why I was actually back there with the political thing when you were here, uh, Achilles, is that uh, every power corrupts, and you see that in the United States that now in California you used to have some of the wealthiest counties. Now, out of the 15 richest counties in the United States, a good bunch of them are right around Washington D.C. So that's just all public
How's the
money.
how's the fire in LA going? Is it out yet?
Which
There's
one?
there's a new fire outside
Oh,
Los Angeles.
I thought there was one in Bernard. Oh, was that down in LA? I have not been watching news much.
I have. That's all I do. And
Yeah, that's
to be, let me say this. I have changed in the past months. My The way I see people now is shifting towards not whether they are Christian or not, but whether they care for people around them or not. Because I have noticed a lot of hypocrisy within um, those that pick up the name Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian, but my neighbor is dying and I don't care. So that you're not really a Christian. And I see a lot of heart in atheists, in some people that are not Christians. So I'm tending to put those a little higher lately. I don't know. Maybe the reason is that the things around us have gone super wild, and a line is needs to be drawn at some point between those that actually care and those that don't care and just want something to excuse their carelessness.
well, but we always also have to remember that it's the motivation. So somebody who doesn't care about their neighbor that's a Christian, God will deal with them if they're a pretend Christian, not caring, they're going to be in the same place as a caring atheist. They're both going to be separated from God because it's not a true motivation of love out of their heart. It's just and I see that so much here with just like the guy I know that they had to put their from Guatemala had to put their family ranch up for $20,000 so that they could pay the cartel to smuggle in the guy that I met, an illegal worker here, And he had to work for years to pay off that $20,000 before then he came to California to start making money for his family. And so he would say, "Oh yeah, keep the border open," and it's like, well, you know what? That that guy got put into slavery. If he would have fallen off one of those roofs, one of the things he said, he was in Texas working on roofs in 120-degree heat. If he would have died, they would have taken his family's property. So was it really loving that guy to keep the borders open, or would the love have been, we need workers in the United States, let them in legally like we used to? I don't know if you were here, but I'm from an apple producing area. It was back in the day, and they vetted the workers coming in. And the rich dudes that owned these, couple 100-acre ranches, they'd have their house open because the government vetted these workers coming on up, and they would go back home, in the wintertime, come back up, and they were part of the family. Now, though, where you have so many people saying that they're caring for people by letting cartels control the U.S. border, then you have slavery, you have human trafficking, and they have to pay, whether it's cash, their bodies, or their work. Those people are indentured slaves. So that's my spiel on that.
Yeah, and that goes to, that's what I was talking about. It has to do with this as well. And let me show you something from the same video that we showed earlier. BBM, are you still in the chat? Because I would like you to see this as well. Just
I think
type
it was. I still
blink
have
once if you are in the chat. Blink once. Blink twice for no. Let me show you this.
Big Bad Mama, did you get pictures of those bumper stickers? That is crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Don't bring it up yet. Let it play because I'm going for the next. Are you playing?
I didn't touch it. It's up there.
Okay.
You can put it full screen though.
I'll put it full screen when it's ready. All right, right now. 1 minute.
But meanwhile, Kristi Noem was testifying in Congress today about whether her administration is deporting people without habeas corpus, which is their right to due process. If you didn't know what habeas corpus was, don't worry, Kristi Noem didn't Google it either.
What is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
Okay, look, if Kristi Noem was just a random person on the street, I get it. If she was like, habeas corpus, that's a Harry Potter spell, right? Like, makes you invisible. But the Secretary of Homeland Security should know that habeas corpus prevents the president from deporting you without due process. Not that it lets the president deport you without due process. That's the opposite of what it means. And I didn't know you could have dyslexia for laws. Either way, Noem whiffed hard on that question. But unfortunately for her, the quiz was just beginning.
Do you know what section of the Constitution the suspension clause of habeas corpus is in?
I do not. No.
Do you know which article it is in?
No, I do not, sir.
Okay, well, it is in Article 1.
It was in 1. It was the first. You didn't even read the first one.
Now we have this trade war with China that Moody's and other analysts say is going to cost American families thousands of more dollars per year. And there is a lot of concern out there. People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it. I said all these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period.
Really? That's what Trump said? Trump actually said that? Could we just check the tape on that?
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day
1,047. But first, prices will go so high you'll be sucking D for eggs.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I misremembered.
I remember that expression at the end there. But I have a walkthrough, a video, which I haven't uploaded, a video of what people have to go through, what families have to go through to go to the US through Panama, walking through the jungle. And it's you follow a family, and at some point they lose one of their children, and they don't know if they're going to find it again. And thank God that the child had moved along further, and they saw it, they found it later. And the thing is, it is happening here too. We have a lot of illegal immigration, and in our case it's Muslims, but we need to remember to be human. And nobody wants criminals, nobody wants murderers, but you cannot go to Home Depot and find every Mexican there and kick them out, or in the strawberry fields and kick them out when they have been in the country for like I don't know, 20 and 30 years, and they have become legals, but they didn't come here, they didn't come in from the official way. I heard somebody was saying, get out and come in legally. My parents were illegal, but I'm legal now because I'm born in the United States. Now, Trump is trying to take away the birthright citizenship. So those that said that might lose their citizenship if their own parents were illegal when they came in. So if that happens and that reaches their home, oh, then they're gonna have a problem with Trump. So my issue with this is that you should be having a problem when a fellow human being is being treated unfairly by a trillionaire.
Billionaire, but
billionaire? Are you sure?
I'm
not so sure. I think he could be up there.
I don't think there's any trillionaires yet. Maybe some of the oil guys, but the problem with that, Achilles, is the Bible says we're to obey the laws of the land and obey the governments. So you do believe there should be some regulation.
We obey the government. That is from when Jesus was asked whether the Jews should be paying tax to Caesar. And that was a tricky question. They were trying to get him crucified even earlier. And he gave a very clever response, which was give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. So a lot of people are taking that way out of context and saying, yep, we got to obey to everything the government says because otherwise we're not biblical. No, when the government is doing things that God doesn't want, it's our responsibility to be the prophets, like the prophets of the Old Testament, and warn about God's curse. So you hear me in the past months attacking Trump. That doesn't mean I want the colorful things in the schools that the previous government brought on. So are we supposed to accept those because the government brought them? The rainbow?
Well, there's exactly not, and so
So
even
there are things that we are not supposed to accept if they are unbiblical, if they are not treating people respectfully, if they are running wars for oil, telling you that, oh no, it's just for human rights, just, let us have our little war there we're not supposed to be okay with that. Makes us complicit. George Orwell was saying that those that vote for bad politicians and for thieves are not just guilty, they are complicit to what they're doing.
Yeah, I was he a Christian?
Well, he wrote one.
So here's Romans. This has nothing to do. Here's nothing to do with, give unto Caesar. This is Romans, Paul talking. Let me get rid of that advertisement. Here we go. So Romans 13, starting at 1, says, all of you must obey the government rulers. Everyone who rules was given the power to rule by God. And all those who rule now were given that power by God. So anyone who is against the government is really against something God has commanded. Those who are against the government bringing punishment is bringing punishment on themselves. People who do right don't have to fear the rulers, but those who do wrong must fear them. Do you want to be free from fearing them? Then do only what is right, and they will praise you. And again, other in context is that when the people are being evil, the government will be used to punish them. But so this isn't, the give unto Caesar one. This is Paul talking that government rulers are given by God. And so, and there's another one in, I think it was James. So a couple different passages telling us this. So if a government tells you, don't worship God, then you can go against that. But if they say, whatever, we want to have borders, then that's not something against God's authority, because God wants a government here to, bring about law.
At no point ever am I saying, or did I ever say in my 8 years of making videos, to rebel. And I am always saying that this is the government that we deserve. All right. So that doesn't mean if I see them do something to bring about something biblical, I would give them a thumbs up. I just never see it. All I see is some rulers pretending and some rulers not pretending to work for the enemy. So, the left doesn't even pretend anymore. They're like straight up, we worship Satan. I mean, with Hillary's emails, we know that, that they have Lucifer for, they worship Satan straight up. And the right is just pretending to be with the Bible and yet doing every unbiblical thing that they can. So
no, and that's where we're, and I believe we are to my king, my president is Jesus Christ, and my kingdom that I'm a citizen of is not of this world. It's not the United States. It's not any other worldly country.
Amen. That is my point. That's just my point. That's all it is. That we're not part of this world. And when people just focus so much on backing somebody about this world, they are, I don't know, I'm not going to say they're risking the other world, but they're just not focusing where they should.
Right, and that's where I believe the gospel is it. And we know by the scripture that nothing an atheist does is good because of the motivation. and
Yeah.
in a spiritual sense. So
We
that
have
is
our
the
own. We have our own Trump over here. I think he's going to be the next president. He's not a billionaire, but he's pretending to be, about patriotism and all that, and about the church. But I've pointed out in previous videos, I'm not gonna do it again, that every time he mentions Christianity, he never calls it Christianity. He calls it orthodoxy. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why don't you just call it Christianity? Because they don't want Jesus to be praised. They want some church. I was about to say cult, but I pulled that back. As long as you don't worship the true Christianity, it's like, your Vance, the vice president. He came out and said, I'm becoming a Catholic. He didn't say I'm becoming a Christian. He was very specific. I'm becoming a Catholic. He didn't say I'm a Christian. He said I'm a Catholic.
I thought he was always. I thought he was Catholic, so he turned to
No,
Catholicism.
yeah, there was something about him turning to Catholicism. So maybe he wasn't. He was something else. But you gotta look behind their words. We're not gonna see a true Christian leader, because they all work together to bring up the Antichrist. So that's what we're gonna see. And unfortunately, Trump is a test. If people are falling for Trump so much, wait to see what happens with the Antichrist, how he's gonna convince everybody that he's a great leader.
Yeah, that's where I love Trump, is the fact that Washington D.C., like the vipers they are, not that he's not one too, but they Republicans and Democrats, we hate each other. Oh my gosh, and Trump comes in, who really wasn't a Republican, he was Democrat, and he comes in, and now you have all these Republicans and Democrats siding. Now they're best friends to get and try to go after Trump. So it just, for me, the love I have is just showing he threw a little rock into the viper pit, and all these rattlesnakes who were telling us that no, we're not, we're against those people, we're for you, and the others, the Democrats, are, oh, we're against the Republicans because we're for you, and they're all for themselves. And that's the just showing, and like I said, that the richest counties around the United States, which therefore around the world, are around Washington D.C. because of the corruption, the lobbyists, and now the only, and then what I do like is and the reason I voted for Trump, besides just throwing, just one more vote, California, it's not going to do anything, but the anti-abortion, even though he switched abortion rights, and I won't say, just kind of seems like he probably did it for votes, but it was done. And now, so there's a couple things. Now they've taken the money away from Planned Parenthood, which was killing how many millions, have killed so many millions of human unborn. And so just for that, again, talking about somebody caring about their neighbor. Yeah, I've done foster care with
Yeah,
children.
but the way they've set up the system, you get a president that he pretends to do one thing that people want, and then you have every separate state doing the other thing because they still have Democrats. So by the time that changes, the president will have changed. And then you see what I'm saying? So, for example, Colorado passed a law about taking the child away from the family if it says that I'm not the sex that you think I am. And if you say, no, that's wrong, the state has the right to take it away. And that is Colorado. In New York, you're about to have a mayor. He's not voted yet, but we might see a mayor who is a Muslim, socialist, communist, all that all together, and people are like, oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So you might have a Republican on top, but you get a lot of Democrats at the bottom. You don't have the elections for the states yet. And then by the time that happens, the president will change. So, it's just fooling people all the time. We gotta just start seeing that they don't forward anything that God wants. We're like worldwide going downhill, and we might be seeing some steps towards uphill, but immediately they roll back with the rest of the rock. So the UK just passed a law, and it's passed, it's done. You can have an abortion at, all the way up to the 6th month. So that's another method they're using. A lot of countries pass those laws, and then they tell you, oh, look, everybody else has passed it.
Exactly.
Don't fall behind, So it's so many levels, and we cannot, and we should not rebel against it, because we cannot change them on that level, but we can change the mentalities of people around us and let them know and understand that all this has been predicted, that it would happen. You see, when the flood happened, God gave a promise that it wouldn't happen again, and that the next time it would be fire. And the book of Revelation talks about fire. So if this world was about to get any better, why did God tell us from the beginning that it's going to be with the fire, the next cataclysm? Because he knew it wouldn't. So you might start seeing one country like poking its head out of the mud of sin, but it's not going to last long. It's the whole world that is like a rock tumbling down a downhill.
No, totally. And then what God said, he'll wait till the last soul that is born, that is gonna, that he sees will be his child. He'll wait till that point, and then the end will come. So we look at that, and I'd say that, we look back through history, and even Apostle Paul was like, whoa, the end could be near. And God has never given. And then you look through the dark ages, then you look through World War I, World War II, these horrible times through history. But it's kind of like that curve. Evil comes, it kind of like only because so many people die, then it goes up again. So I'm hoping and seeing God comes soon. But when we look at things, people thought that all through time, and we will see. And meanwhile, we're just to, praise
Yeah,
God,
but
tell His.
the truth is, I've heard that a lot. That a lot of people have seen the end in their times, and my response to that is that we have a lot of signs from the Bible, and we see them now unfolding. And we see things that didn't happen before. For example, if you told Paul what the book of Revelation says, which was written after Paul, how could Paul imagine that? How could the whole world not be able to buy and sell if they didn't have a mark? It couldn't fit his brain because societies were not connected. For
Totally.
Paul,
You had somebody up in a mountain and they didn't
right?
even see people their whole lives.
For Paul to spread the gospel, he had to travel. He walked. He walked a lot. There was no internet. There were no credit cards. There were no banks. There was no system, monetary system that once you're out, you're out. The digitalization that we have right now, and people shopping with their not even a smartphone anymore. They're now using their watch. I'm even smarter than that. I'm just using my watch. And pretty soon it's not going to be a watch. We're that close. So I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's tomorrow. I'm not giving any date, but it's definitely sooner than a lot of people think it is. It's not like, oh, it's somewhere in the future. No, we should fight right now, as this is the last battle for souls.
Exactly. And that's the point. That's what, God, Jesus and the Bible's point was all along, is that even if the end doesn't come for another 50 years, I think probably you could be close. So let's say 100 years, you and I are going to be gone anyway, unless they come up with some medical stuff, we're going to be dead. And so it
No,
isn't
they
about,
better not. They better not. I don't want
no,
to come.
what I'm saying is all through time, we are to
Spread the
preach
gospel.
God's love and the gospel. And so, you look at that because, as we get closer, there are more people on the planet, but through time, there's more people that have met their maker before the end. And you look at through history, and that's why I love history, because you look at whatever, and it does, and before, and to defend those who might have said, like Paul or something in the end, Satan could have made it possible demonically, spiritually, that people could not have bought or sell. But, we see it now. It's like, oh my gosh, they had no
Now,
clue. Internet.
now you can imagine how it can happen, right?
Without the supernatural.
Well, not right. As simple as that. Right now, they have the ability, not just yet. We still have, like, if I'm not allowed to use European banks, I still can work with dollars. We're not in a unified system yet. But we saw in 2020, I don't want to name what happened in 2020, but you probably remember. We saw how easy it is.
I could have gotten drugs. I could have gotten went to
But
parties if I was a rich guy, but I couldn't have gone to church.
right?
I couldn't gone to a small store owned by a person in my community, but I could have gone to a Home Depot or a big box store, Lowe's, fill in the blank. But I could go to those stores. So I was like, really?
Right. Yeah.
Really? And so, people are, and what it shows, and hopefully the Christians and non-Christians, whatever your worldview is, you should know that people are like sheep, and you will follow, or goats, you will follow whatever. And then, it was so much fun here in California, the coastline. They had one guy out on the surf, and they had like 3 or 4 police boats with multiple people in each of those boats, the officers running that surfer down because he was against the law, because he was outside during that big bad cold we had. And
Yeah,
it's like,
they banned fishing over here. You were not allowed to go fishing.
that it's a test run, because
It's a
people,
test run.
that's what I see God laughing because, people like, I'm an American, I'm a Greek, I'm this, nobody tells me what to do. I get to do what I want. And it's like, don't go fishing. Oh, okay. Don't go to your church. Okay. Yeah, it just shows that people, and I don't know about you, if when you were here, if they had the bumper sticker was very common, question authority. That was a liberal thing at the time because I think, what was it? One of the conservatives was in, and I question authority. You got to question them. But as soon as the liberal came in, then it's like, oh, we can't question them. How you're un-American because you're questioning, Obama or that. Then it would have been Clinton right afterwards. But it's like, guys, can you see? And that's why I love kind of badgering my liberal friends because they're living in or George Orwell, where you talked about them. They're living in 1984, where the government, tells you to do something. It's like, oh yeah, I got to do that. Even down to the fact that in the last years prior to this one, people they were attacking people because of the thing of, I just don't want my daughter competing with a man who thinks he's a girl. And it was funny. One of my, I think, was a well-known feminist, same, rainbow person, and she was trying to defend the women, and she got booted. I think she was a tennis in charge of some tennis group or some sports group with women, and they booted her because she said, no, we should not have biologically born males competing with females. And and here was a liberal person, and they booted her. So people are like, sheep. That's another reason I like Trump, because he's not good in so many things, and I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. But that's where I like.
I don't think you can throw him far.
No, I liked watching the hornet nest, which he's probably just one of the Japanese hornets. But
I think that's fake too. The way this system is pretending to hate him, I think that's fake too.
The which?
How the system pretends to not like him, that they're doing their best to get rid of him. I think that's fake too.
I don't think so. Just in the fact that they're still trying to prosecute him, any of his things. That these judges who were just appointed by one judge that was
if they wanted to, they have the Epstein files. Why aren't they using those?
I think too much dirt is on everybody on that, so you can't
they can pull out one card out of the book, you know what I'm saying? If they wanted to. He's part of the system. He's part of the system. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody that is having high hopes.
I just wanna, because he did come out as one of the people that was on Epstein's plane. And it went back to the thing that he kicked out Epstein from his thing back in, 2010, 2011. He kicked Epstein out because Epstein was hitting on one of the minors there. So that they tried that and it didn't go anywhere.
Wait, have you heard? Let me see where is it? It's in the same video. Let me find the timestamp. Here it is. 123, 128, 123.
37. But first, prices will go so high you'll be
Oh no, I'm sorry. At least I muted it. Okay, so check this out.
stuck in D for eggs.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah, my bad. I misremembered.
Oh, and just on that, egg prices have gone down. Inflation has gone down. Let's see. So, do you remember, or did they succeed in making you forget it? What are we forgetting on that one?
If you were president, would you declassify? You can answer yes or no to these. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
There's a lot of phony stuff in the whole world. Okay, nobody disagrees with that. But the Epstein files are a passenger list. There are no phony stuff in passenger lists because that's how aviation works. You need to know the names in case the plane crashes. The same happens with ships. But it's funny how he says it. There could be phony stuff there because there's like phony stuff in the world. Okay, I'm trying to. Can I? Oh, okay, I got a better one here. Okay.
You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least.
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
9/11, yeah. JFK, I'm with you. Jeffrey Epstein, yeah. Well, why would Donald Trump be so circumspect about exposing the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire child sex trafficker who died in prison, without revealing which of his well-connected elite friends knew about and possibly even participated in his revolting and illegal activities?
And here I'm saying, isn't it funny at the same time that Elon Musk had a problem with the Epstein files only after his EV mandate did not pass? Before that, he didn't seem to mind. But after Trump said, I'm not passing that law about your electric vehicles, he said, oh, he was in the Epstein files. Oh, really? Now you remember the Epstein files. Right. So don't get me wrong. If I were to play that video for one more second, you will see that Bill Clinton is also there. The son of the king of Greece, that a lot of Greeks they want the king back and they can't have the king because he died, but they want one of his sons to take over this charade that we have right now. But he was in the Epstein list. The list is big, brother Dan. The list is big and it includes the world's politics, the world's politicians.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And then, but on the other hand, other side of it, Epstein, I lean towards the thing that he is a espionage plant, because how else? Just like they have, it's gone back probably forever. That
okay, I have when I was in the U.S. and oh, by the way, because I mentioned the U.S. And I'm having this ADHD with same thing that you have. So let me go on a tangent for a bit because you said bumper stickers earlier. When I was in the US, I had a bumper sticker on the car. I got a used car there. And I bought a bumper sticker and I put on the back. And it had a smiley face. And it was saying, smile, your government's watching. So never forget that. Keep smiling because the government's always watching.
Right here, right now on this, everything. And that,
it's the internet. That's why I don't show my face.
Yeah, because I had a friend way back in 2000 who worked for Homeland Security. And about that time, they were saying how, you can record stuff. The government's recording stuff and can pick out words. And he goes, we've been doing that for years. Every conversation. Yeah. And it's all there. That's why you look at that, and if the Epstein files were said were going to come out, you're going to have a lot of dead people, because the people in charge of that.
Because you mentioned espionage. This is espionage, but from CIA. It is from within, and I'll tell you how I know that. When I was in the US, I was watching. It was the time before the internet was huge, but it was there, and I was watching. I was downloading movies. I received a letter on my door that had a logo in the letter of a triangle with an eye inside.
With a knife?
An eye. An eye.
A 9.
Oh, no, an eye. Eye. The
Oh.
eye. One of the two eyes. All right? A pyramid with an eye
Oh, okay, yeah.
inside it. The company was called Bay TSP, if anybody wants to look it up. And it was saying, we know you have those movies on your hard drive. If you don't delete those movies, we're going to delete your hard drive. So I didn't know what to do. I deleted the movies. I didn't know about piracy at that point in life. I kind of did, but okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I didn't know it was being checked that much.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do with my internet. So I started downloading documentaries. I started watching lectures. At some point, I came across a lecture of one guy, which I have uploaded on my channel. That video, it's called CIA and Satanism. It is a, I don't know, 15-minute long video. He was saying that everything you want to know about what this system is doing, it is in this book. Get this book. The guy was a police officer who was retired, and Dan just dropped. So who am I going to say it? You see, they're listening. Run! Run, everybody, run! They're here. Dan, come back. This is your show. Otherwise, I'll start playing anti-trap stuff. What's going on in the comments? Let me see. They got him. Missing mod, they got him. Oh, you mean Epstein? Okay. All right. Yeah, I gotta keep this interesting for my sister who is driving. So what do? Do I sing? Do I come back, Dan? Come back. Anyway, I'll say this in case mods listening or whoever. So they were saying, I got this book. This guy was presenting the book on a slideshow, and I found it too interesting, and I bought the book. When I came to Greece, I gave that book to a girlfriend that I had, and then we broke up, and I never saw the book again. So I tried ordering it. I'm like, you know, this is the 2000s, 2010. I can order a book. I don't need to go find a specific copy. So I ordered it from Amazon. Together I got some other books. And when I added that specific book in my cart, it said your cart cannot be shipped to the selected country. When I removed the book, my cart could ship to Greece. So, okay, there is this book out there, but for some reason, it's not allowed to go to Greece. I found out why, because I got the book again and I read it and I saw how Greece relates and what is going on and why they weren't allowing it to be shipped here. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say here is Dan said that there's some sinister reason behind what Epstein was doing. Okay, Dan. And I said that the reason was the same country. So what they're doing is they are creating sex scandals for you so they can control you. So that is what the Lolita Express was about. So they can control the politicians of the world by telling them that they offer you this pleasure, and then they threaten you with that pleasure. And that is written in that book, that this is the method that they're using. So for anybody that's listening and is interested, the book is called Pawns in the Game, P-A-W-N, Pawns in the Game, by William Guy Garr, written in the 1950s. He was an American admiral. And it is now available online. When I got the book, back then in 2005, I didn't believe in the Christian God myself at the time. I believed there was something, but I wasn't a Christian. So when you open that book, you start reading and it says, Lucifer runs this world and this is how he does it. So I didn't believe it. Now, 20 years later, because I came across it when I was in the US in 2005. 20 years after it, I'm telling you guys, it's all in there. I wasn't a believer, but this guy was. And you might not be a believer right now, but I am. You see, it's the same. So pick it up. If you don't believe in Lucifer yet, just keep reading and you might start believing and arrive to the true book, which is the Bible. Because we do have a prediction of how everything is gonna roll out. Spoiler alert, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And since I'm left alone and I have to rant about anything, I'll repeat what I said earlier. There's a lot of hypocrisy today, especially among Christians, that people die around them, people die in the state next to them. We have Christians. He's back. I muted you because there was echo. Close the tab and then unmute yourself.
How was that? Thank you, Achilles. I'm glad you were there.
Perfect. Finishing the statement, I'm saying that I saw a river flooding in Texas, and then people running shows talking about what their denomination is and why it's better than your denomination. So for me, that is absurd. As Christians, we have to preach the gospel and not our denomination side of the gospel. But at the same time, part of the gospel is loving one another as ourselves. And I'm seeing that less and less. Right now in Texas, we're still looking, and I say we, because we're human. We're still looking for 11 girls. You know, it was a Christian camp, a girl Christian camp that flooded. We have found 25 girls underage drowned already. We're looking for another 11. It's a very tragic situation that has evolved in Texas. We are at 70 something dead right now. And it's very sad to see Christian channels that are in Texas running a whole show and not mentioning it. So for me, that proves the fall. That proves why we deserve the presidents that we get, because we've stopped caring.
And that is so true. And that is the state of humanity, because we had a flash flood in just now 2 years ago in Gemma's community in the Philippines, where a flash flood took out tons, and the
Huge.
world gives
Sorry,
oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Dan. There was a huge earthquake a week ago in the Philippines. A 7 point something big earthquake a week ago, less than a week ago. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, there's all over the world tragedies, and that you have the humanist who's like, oh well, we're survival of the fittest. We got us to propagate the species, but there's really no perfect purpose. There's no purpose in life. Not an eternal purpose. I mean, they can think they're going to save the whales or something, or we had Hollywood, and you might even have been here at the time when they did Save the World, and they had a concert. The fundraiser, they had a big Hollywood fundraiser, and you drew a card, and some people only got to eat rice to be empathetic for that one meal. You don't have your $100 meal, your $200 bottle of wine. They were empathizing with the poor in Africa by that one meal, eating rice. And they did raise a lot of money, but that was it. You don't hear about that anymore. We are the world, whatever that song was. Yeah,
We are
humanity.
the world, we are the children. Yeah.
Humanity, and then you have one of the richest women in the world. She has an orphanage in Africa, and it turns out it's like, oh, that's just because she does, of course, doesn't run it, but it's a corrupt little organization. They're really not helping those poor orphans. So, yeah, humanity mouths it. Jesus, to me, people say it's like, oh, how can God send people to, away from him? How can he send people to hell? And it's like, look around the world. It's like, you've got the richest people in the world in Hollywood, and every once in 20 years, they'll give some money to some poor person. And it's like, dudes, you could, any one of those people on just one of their movies, the upper ones, but the upper ones, they could feed and maintain and educate a whole village in a poor area around the world. And, they're spending just the money they spend on a dress or a whatever for those, red carpet walks, they could feed a village. And yet, no. And so it's all hypocrisy, just like Jesus said,
And those that do use their money for doing something for the world, the system gets them out of the way. Michael Jackson was one of them. But let's not get into that. And it's too late. Plus, when I left and I went to my dogs, I looked outside and there were 10 fire trucks on the mountain next to my house. So I was like, what happened? And I got in and there was a forest fire that started at 2:30 a.m. at night. How do forest fires start at 2:30 a.m.?
Spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, from the sun that is on the side.
Yeah, it's the sun going through the moon, reflecting on the moon, went through a broken piece of glass, and it heated up that much. No, did you hear it? I didn't even see it, but a friend told me that there was a sniper who started a fire and then was killing firefighters. I think it was in Idaho or.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I'm following world news almost every day, and I saw that. I even heard the radio of the officer that was saying, "Don't come here, don't come close here." Did they get him out? Did they get him out? I think
What?
there were two. It
Oh,
wasn't just, yeah, it wasn't just one sniper. He had another one that was shooting from closer.
what I heard is somebody took their own life before, because from what I heard, the local sheriff said anybody in the community that has a gun, come help us. And so that's just I didn't hear that, but that the one of the perpetrator snipers took his own life. A little bit too late, but we'll have to see again. It's just like the the guy that killed the two Jewish people in the Jewish museum, or the ones that the guy that started torching Jewish people. It doesn't matter what who they were or who the people, but it's just you have people that will do that to other human beings,
Right.
and it's just like yeah, crazy.
Right. No, God is a just God, and He's the one that will bring justice. And I remember a quote from Nahum 1:3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power. The Lord will not leave the guilty unpunished. His way is in the whirlwind, and the storm and clouds are the dust of his feet. Another one in Psalms. The Lord is a God who avenges. O God who avenges, shine forth. So if we don't find justice on the earth about something, I don't worry. I don't actually trust the justice system anymore, because if you follow, which I'm not asking you to, but if you were to follow the latest video that I was working for 6 months, it is 3 parts. It's called Men of Perdition, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. It shows how the justice system is controlled by the government, and it's not truly independent. Now, in your country, at least when the new government comes up, it doesn't appoint a supreme judge. In my country, they do. When a new government comes up, they replace the supreme judge with their accomplice. I don't even want to say friend, accomplice. So you think you will go to court, and even if you make it to the Supreme Court, the head of it is appointed by the government, but by the specific party of the government. So there's no, the whole thing about that video is a situation that happened with a train collision, that people are looking to find justice, and I'm telling them that rest in God for justice. You will not find it in man.
No, and that's wherever you are, and if people, even those who are humanist, trusting in fellow humans, you all you gotta look is our big cold, that big bad virus we had, and you can see that no matter what side you're on it, people got controlled. And now we know, though, that just like some of us thought, they were lying. And those are our,
Both sides were lying.
yes.
Both sides were wearing a mask. Both sides lied about getting VAX.
Yep.
So, if you break down they have a lot of issues to have us argue about and create this division, vote for us because, you know, we see the glass full empty while the others see the glass half full. We see it half empty, they see it half full, so vote for us. But if you break it down to some specific subjects, both sides agree on those subjects. One of those subjects is the one you just mentioned. There's no disagreement there, even though all the doctors of the world are like ringing a bell, even if people now are dropping like rocks.
No, and you know, it's again, you know, it's like a huge web of deceit, and that's, well, where do we see that novelly predicted in a popular world library of books? And we'd have to say, you know what, the Bible predicts that.
Yep.
And again, whether you're a Christian person, atheist, theist of some kind, polytheist, you kind of got to go, okay, yeah, that, and you might even say, well, that's just a coincidence that this 2,000-year-old book predicted novelly that you were going to have this corruption always, where humanism says we will, as a species, through evolution, get better and better. That is not what the scripture says, and
that's not what's happening.
And that is not what's happening. So let me advertise this cool that I will start watching today. It's 2025, The Men of Perdition, part 1 of 3, definitions.
Yeah, well, my channel is Achilles7, ACHILLEAS. I'm sorry, it's not like one video, but there was an overload of information. It was impossible to put. I actually started working on a very small part. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I said it's gonna be 2 parts, and then it became 3, all to report, present, and also comment. So you cannot have all that for a situation that people don't know about, start commenting about it without presenting what the situation is. And even then, even if you start watching this, it is now, we're stepping into the 3rd year of the incident, of the accident in quotes, because it was not an accident.
Yeah.
So the video that I made about the accident is back in 2022. So now in 2025, I'm not giving you a lot of information about it because they are in a previous job. So I'm sorry for that. Yeah, that if you are to press play, give it a little bit more of quality, because I think that the quality is low.
Let's see here, but this way you can see the title. I got that volume.
That video, 2023 part A to C, was just almost everything about it. But now I went a step further because there's been so much happening after the accident and not about the accident. after the accident. They like so much stuff has happened. You have like chief interrogators that their son gets murdered. We find him with a cut finger. The government makes it a suicide. They investigate the what was it? Not an interrogator. The interrogator doesn't quit the case, but the government forces her to quit the case. You have a video of the train. You see, just pause. There is no way to also describe and watch. When you have two trains colliding, and you have videos of only one of those two trains going through 20 stations from the CCTV cameras of the stations, but you don't have one video of the other train, which was a cargo train. There is no video of it getting loaded with whatever they loaded it with. The cameras were not working. Just like with Epstein, the cameras were not working when he took his life, quote unquote. And no camera was working on the stations that it went through.
You know, and people are you know, at least, you know, and if you say something, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, as a negative thing, instead of a conspiracy, like, well, now we know it. You know, the whole Russian hoax perpetrated on the American people, whether it was, you know, they were all in cahoots or not, it was still people that you're supposed to trust who lied. You know, the whole, you know, that, and to me, it's very easy. I guarantee if you or I were dumb enough to get high political, we wouldn't, because we would have to bribe people, and I mean we'd have to get into people's well, you know what, to get high, to be a high official, and yeah, you got somebody whispering in your ear, if you don't do what I said, you know,
you're not going anywhere.
well, or your mother is going to have an accident, or
Yep.
your sister, or your
And, yeah, and right now we are having that on relatives of those children. They are being threatened by some people. You know, it's not officially the government. So when we end the show, press play and start watching this. If you feel like it, it's going to show you more than what you expect it to. I just hide stuff further down for those that watch. So
out of you, I expect nothing but the best. Like I said,
one thing,
thank
you, my brother. One thing that is not mentioned is what I'm saying in the previous line of videos about this, which is how this government has taken a lot of money to do things with the trains, and they never did. And I'm showing you the contracts. They updated the trains, but they didn't update the lines. They brought in high-speed trains, but they didn't update the railway. The trains have no automatic braking system. They have no GPS tracking. In 2023, that the accident happened, 2022 actually. No, 2023. And the radio was not working. The black box of the trains was not working. Telemetry was not working. So all that stuff, I'm not mentioning them here. This is a video about what has been happening in the 2 years after the accident.
After that, because then,
Right?
you know, you use, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, no, if it was just total neglect, total, you know, corruption, whatever, you know, somebody in the line should have been, you know, life imprisonment or killed, because you're a mass murderer. If I don't maintain my vehicle right and I run into you and kill you and your family, I'm going away for a long time, because that is, you know, a type of manslaughter, not a first degree because I didn't mean to, but through my neglect, if I kill somebody, I'm going to be punished. You
Yeah,
look
you know,
over, so even if it wasn't, you know, malicious, even if just some bureaucrat over there greased
oh, it
his
was
pockets a little bit, and then, you know, so the radio didn't work, or that's on the engineer. If something else didn't work, there's people in charge of those. So even if it was just total
the red
neglect,
lights were not working.
then that's somebody. And if that's just all coincidence, those guys should be in jail, though.
Exactly.
They should be in prison. So
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. We're not saying you did it on purpose. We just want to see you in jail. That's all.
and
Because if you get two trains on the same railway going against each other, the red light that would supposed to tell the pilot that there's another train, it was not working. So all these about the systems that are not working, they were on the previous video, which is called 2023 Part A, Murder on the Orient Express, because this is murder. You see, if there is murder by intent and by negligence.
right.
So if you have 10 different points where negligence exists, then it escalates to intent. It's no longer negligence.
Well, exactly. We had here in California the fires, and we had a governor that was taking donations close to $1 million, and that's just the one they know, for his nonprofit, was the PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, and they donated to the governor, who was in charge of the board who watched over PG&E, the regulatory board. And then it's like, surprise, surprise, there was plenty of money. The executives of PG&E, millions of dollars each, brand new helicopters, brand new trucks, but they didn't cut down and keep clear the trees. And a lot of that is the fault of the environmentalist who's like, oh, you can't cut a tree. It cost you $1 million to cut a tree. But notwithstanding, hundreds of people died, thousands of people in California, thousands of people lost their homes, everything. Nobody went to prison. And then the funny thing is, our governor said, I was like, oh, we better have the government take over this, you know, because it's a private company. We better make this a public company. It's like, you're the one that was regulating them. So if you take the personal out of it, how does that help? It doesn't. Now, whether or not you want to make it a public utility or not has nothing to do with it. Was your corruption that caused all these fires. Nobody went to prison.
Yeah, there's another theory about LA. If you find a map about the railway that they want to build, you'll see that it passes through all these areas that burned. So to get a railway, a high-speed train through all the forest of California with all the environmentalists was hard. But if it's burned, it gets way easier.
It's a clean slate. No,
Yep.
that's where and to the dirty little secret, because we have a California train that's billions of dollars or million, whatever it is, over budget that we're supposed to have a long time ago. You could have bought an electric car for every man, woman, and child, and probably everybody in Greece for the amount of money that they wasted on this train system. We have one up here called the Smart Train. You know that they
Why?
use
Why is it smart? What does it do?
well because they use the biggest diesel engines that are available. So wait a minute, this is don't diesels pollute? And then here's the good one is that it's a 2-car system. But you have to have 4 cars because it's like if you have a one has for trap people and the other passengers and the other is like a food car, whatever it is. You have to have 4 different cars, 4 cars because only 2 of them connected to each other. So you either had to have these 2 or these 2. You couldn't have interchanging trains, and they go both directions. It's not like it's crazy. And then, but they did not put the diesel engine. They put it in on its side just to make it fit. Achilles, would you just be totally aghast that somebody would forget that a diesel engine? What does it kind of need inside of it? It needs some oil circulation.
Mm-hmm.
And so the oil pumps only work when it's horizontal. So when you tip this diesel, the biggest diesel engine out there, when you tip it on its side, it wasn't pumping oil and it was blowing these blowing these motors. And so it's just waste upon waste upon waste. And again, we have a homeless problem. The immigrant problem, you could have given $10,000 for each migrant in another country that wanted to come here, and nobody got punished for that. Nobody. That you should be out picking garbage or what. All your wealth should be gone if you did.
They have money to fix all those problems, and they are not. Today, we can build houses so cheap that, like, you cannot tell me that specifically the American government, the richest nation on the earth, yes, it has the greatest debt on the earth, yes, but at the same time, it is the richest nation on the earth, has so much money to run so many bases all over the planet, and has this military industry that keeps creating one javelin after the next, and more keeps, and it can't bring in the materials from China and build like a whole array of houses.
Well, now
and make a program.
I exclude the Chinese stuff because they did that on one of our bridges, and they had to redo it.
I'm just saying, people make houses from bottles today for environmental reasons. I'm just saying it's so easy.
Yes,
it's so easy if you want to.
But it doesn't put any money in the pockets of politicians. And I'll pick on Nancy Pelosi. I'll pick on Nancy Pelosi because she's 50 miles away from me. She's worth close to $200 million, and a lot of that has come from stock markets as she's been in politics doing it.
They shouldn't be. Politicians should not be allowed to be in the stock market. I mean, we're not even thinking anymore,
But you can't. She even said you can't keep me out of it because that's the American way. No, everybody else, even poor what's her face, Martha Stewart got put away because they said she did inside trading, and these politicians do it all the time because you know what you're doing. But so helping the homeless does not put money in the politician's pocket. Keeping people homeless does. It's kind of like my daughter was going to be a psychologist, and she got like, no. And I knew she wouldn't make it because Achilles, you came into her and she started talking to you, and you go, man, I'm got a drinking problem. And instead of her going, oh, well, how's your relationship with your great aunt? She'd say, stop drinking and we'll work on it. She would have been a horrible psychologist. But even that, psychologists need you crazy to keep their bills paid. Doctors need you sick. The
And
pharmaceuticals need you sick to
yes,
keep their
and
salaries.
and psychiatrists and psychologists, it's again health on another scale, on the mental state, right? So the same way a pharmaceutical wants you to keep buying meds, the same way a psychologist wants you, not all of them,
No.
but it is, I've attacked this with a comparison with mechanics. When I was racing dirt bikes, I didn't want to be my own mechanic. I wanted to bring my bike to a mechanic and fix my problem and give my bike, and I give him money. Win-win situation. I give you money, you give me my bike. But that's not how it works, because if the mechanic fixes your bike completely, you won't go back to him. So he creates problems for you to go back to him. The same thing I said back then in that video is happening today with people that are depressed, and if the psychologist, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I started something that made noise. Sorry. So
okay. So if they tell you what you need to stop going, they lose money.
Exactly.
And they excuse this by saying, I have a family to feed. You know, they're excusing themselves. They're saying, yeah, you know, that's what it's business. No, it's not business, because you're feeding me meds.
But not all, like you said. But I have
Not
personal
all.
experience.
No.
I had a good doctor. We got that bad cold that was going around, that bad virus, and he prescribed the malaria medicine, the medicine for people with lupus, I believe, also. Very inexpensive medicine that now the state's going, oh, yeah, that's a good one to use. And they stripped him. They were going to prosecute. The guy's like 80-something years old, but an old-fashioned doctor who went with the science. And, you know, it affected people's lungs, and it swelled them up so much they couldn't get oxygen. So he said, this is what that medication is for. And they stripped him from his license and, you know, and almost, you know, put him in jail. And now, hindsight, he actually was doing the correct medicine, followed the science, but that's not what, you know, the great scientists that we got to follow the scientists, we got to follow the doctors. And turns out now that we knew. I mean, I knew because I took the stuff and I was well pretty quick. And it didn't kill me. It didn't kill people with malaria because it's such a common drug. They're going, oh, you can't steal a drug from them. You got to use these, you know, those things that they shoot you with a needle with. That
since you're mentioning that, I just want to throw it out there that Trump said, drink bleach to clean your system from the virus. He said that back then. Just keep that in mind.
He did. Now, that was tongue-in-cheek. Where I went against him was that he did actually follow the quack science.
Not only did he do that, but he went out on the 23rd of December and announced the VAX to be the Christmas miracle. So if you guys still think this guy is a Christian, he's playing you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anybody that I trust you, Achilles, because you preach the gospel. Not that you couldn't be, or me, not that we couldn't be false. We might be wolves, but at least we are good. If we are wolves, which I don't think either of us are, we're good ones. Where you have a person like the president who, oh yeah, God saved my life because of the little bullet coming by. And so, like puffing himself up that I am now God's, chosen. And it's like, no, you probably should have humbled you, to say that, oh my gosh, Lord, thank you for protecting me, but now I should be a little bit more humble. And we have not seen that. Okay.
Oh yeah, humble? You're not gonna see humble from this guy. I have never, ever in my life seen any president talk about himself that much. Ever, ever. In any country of the world. I've never seen such a narcissist. Ever.
Well, I would agree with you, except for I think the other ones are just good actors. They get the
I agree, but he
yeah.
can't even fake it. This one can't even fake it. He just
No, and
I
that's
did
what
this beautiful thing. I did this beautiful thing. People say it was a great thing. Others say it's the best thing that ever happened in the history of this country. I didn't say it. Others are saying it. He's like, oof, the guy, man. He's before he came up, I thought Biden was a joke. But now I'm just changing my mind.
Well, Biden was a joke because everybody knew he was not mentally capable, and that's the problem. That's one reason we have President Trump, is because that was
It was like a
all.
single. It was like a single choice. It wasn't like it wasn't an even playing field at all. It was like a single choice. You get the incompetent one or this one. So it wasn't like you guys had a choice.
No, and that's where, like I said, I liked him that I think he's like the Japanese hornet going and stirring up other hornets. And again, I'm like the fact that my granddaughter doesn't have to worry about going into a locker room with a biological man. I'm glad that, that I'm taking the small victories, that that inflation is down. If prices are down. Eggs were
By the
very
way,
high, and
by
now
the
eggs are down. Inflation's down, and
by the way, when you say down, how much do your eggs cost? Do you remember by heart, like a number?
no, we have our own chickens, so I don't buy.
Because I want to compare with ours. See
Mm.
how.
Maud should know. Are you coming in, Maud? Do I need to give you a let me
Is
put
the
out
link?
the invite. I think Steph said she's gonna come in.
Yeah, let me see if the link. Oh, well, it must be because I saw Claude here. So
Yeah, Claude had come in, but that I think when Steven was around. Oh, bye, Claude. he left during something. So just in that, the whether he agrees with it or not, the fact that he's attacked the abortion, he's going after human trafficking. The FBI has focused their attention instead of parents who don't want. They were parents in the United States. I don't know if you caught that. The the last attorney general was saying, "Oh, these are terrorists," because they're going into school board meetings, and the school board members who are pushing you can choose your own.
again, I haven't heard him say anything about Colorado when he's passing a bill and some judge doesn't pass the bill. He notices, but when a whole state is trying to make illegal for parents to tell their children that you are not a different gender, he doesn't seem to notice it. So I don't know.
Well, and I think, but that is where it is a federalist thing in our system.
Even if it is done, he's the president. How can he bring down a whole army in Los Angeles, and he can't call Colorado and say, I have my eye on you, Mr. Colorado. Keep that in mind. I have my eye on you, and I have a lot of Humvees here. Don't make me bring him down there. You know, why isn't he doing that?
Well, it's because he has the legal right to bring in the troops if there is if the citizenry is being attacked, violence, that stuff. He does
If
not
the
have.
law, if the law, I see your point. If the law passes in Colorado, I will take no excuse that a president has no authority to block that. Hello, Maud.
Steph, you have the floor.
Oh, he outed you. I didn't.
Oh, my bad. It was muted.
Oh,
hi.
That's how we like. That's how we like women. We don't get as scared when you're muted.
Oh. Uh-oh, you're gonna get in trouble.
I'm afraid of women. It's not that I'm over women. I'm afraid of women. So I gotta. You gotta help me.
Imagine if there was a mute button in life outside the internet, and your wife was like, "You didn't do this, you didn't do that," and you could just press the mute button.
No, that's what the rooftop is for.
That would be the last thing I ever did, though, and I'm smarter than that. I mean, I push it, but yeah, Gemma, she knows how to use knives. She knows what things are toxic. She does feed me every day, cook meals. So
yeah,
no,
just listen, because look, just like everybody says Cindy was crazy, if they would have just listened to her, she was right. Cindy Lincoln. I mean, I'm trying to start all that, but she was right.
Yeah, but was she right?
Yeah, she was. I'm saying what she was, going crazy over. Over Steve and Ken wouldn't listen.
That is true, but I met her.
After, I'm not saying anything about that.
I met her before that, and I don't want to make jokes. She had a 5-year-old that died, and so yeah, and she even admitted she went to DAL for therapy. So so there was enough, so I can say nothing flippant about her.
That can mess with your brain, for sure.
Definitely.
Sure. And I would put that on Kent
most people
himself.
Don't live. Most parents don't survive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, even my daughter's oldest is 40 something. My youngest is 30 something, and it's like, even they're not even little kids. But if they were 5-year-old, I remember, them being 5, and it's like that. No, we don't go there. Not even in the thought process.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate to hear that. I remember. Yeah, it just sucks.
No,
but anyway,
exactly.
we can. I came in because I wanted to talk about the doctor, medical science and stuff, and why I don't think it's like a big system trying to control us or anything. I think they're just wrong, right? And they think because a bunch of them and all these schools and all this stuff that they're right, that the practice, whatever they're doing, it must be right. But I've had my gallbladder removed. And I was thinking about it the other night, and I'm like, what? It's insane to me that they would surgically remove my gallbladder instead of just telling me not to eat McDonald's anymore, because all it is a calcium. But normal people, normal people know this stuff about like calcium deposits. It's just like a kidney stone, but it's in a different organ, and it hurts coming out. And it's just a little teeny tiny crystal of something. Who knows, like, what exactly it could be, like whatever. But it hurts coming out, so you go to the hospital because you don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
And they just removed it. They just took it out. Oh, here you go. Now you're better now. Because now that organ can't bother you anymore because it's not there.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute. Like, why? Because you can survive without it, let's just take it out. That's freaking lazy. That's lazy. Instead of you changing and changing your diet and not eating whatever it is, this is the answer that they were given in school. This is how we deal with this problem. So they don't know any better. They're just doing their job. They think they're doing the best, and it's like, now I'm going to die earlier than I would naturally because I have an organ missing, and I don't have, because your gallbladder is what produces the acid that digests your food. So, a stone will get in there and clog it up, and then you get a stomach ache and it hurts, and it's like, well, if I would have just, had, instead of them going, here, let's put you under the knife, which is very risky and can kill you. They could have just told me, hey, just change your diet. This is the they could be doing research into what's causing the problem.
It's gonna hurt, but you got to change your ways if you want. No, can you imagine your mechanic? Oh, there's an oil line that's clogged up a little bit. Oh, let's just cut it out. Oh, the gas line. Oh, we got a little blockage in there. Let's just cut it out.
Your engine can work without it, so.
Yeah, exactly. Or your seatbelts. You can drive without them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's sad, but we do know that like the pharmaceuticals came out and they were busted for lying to the public for profit. You had the ones that did the kids transplants that we were told, or not transplant, trying to whatever that regenetics thing that they were trying to push, and they had the doctor in charge who's like, we don't do it. And you had the hospital and they're going, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. It's like, wait a minute. You told us we're conspiracy theorists because you didn't really do it. And now you say you're not going to do those surgeries on minors anymore. And then the worst was they got a tape out of this one doctor in charge. And she was going, you know what? If we change a person, we get this much money, but then all the surgeries after that will be hundreds of thousands of dollars per patient to the hospital. Totally, and and I think it's a small percentage because the doctors I know, they really try to want to help, but this lady, this doctor, man, she was straight evil. What do you got for us, Achilles?
Was she evil or was she wrong?
When you're saying that the reason you want procedures on people to turn them from their biological sex for money, that's what her whole spiel was. And
it's just like it's exactly like back pain. My dad suffered with back pain my whole life. He fell off of some kind of equipment at work before I was born, So I mean, he had like severe debilitating. I mean, it made him crazy. He had to go to a head doctor and get pills to help him with the mind part of it because it was driving him crazy, the pain. And 40 years almost goes by and I just happened to, I don't even know how I figured it out, but I told him, I'm like, look, just do 15 leg lifts with each leg every day, just before you get out of bed or whatever. He started doing that, never had another back pain again. It was over and he didn't even notice. And I'm like, look, that's all it is. It's just an exercise thing, but they had him in there constantly giving him injections with these huge needles in his back and stuff.
Because
I mean,
it's money.
People get surgery. I know, but I think they're just wrong. I think that's, people are lazy, like Wally, and they're trying to figure out how to keep you in the chair without, comfortable.
Yeah,
you don't have to get up and do anything.
Unfortunately, that part is true. They are lazy in the head to step out of the box of their education, But there is also a little bit of money behind it, because if they were to tell you, just do this exercise and you will be fine, they wouldn't see you again. And they need to be seeing you because they need to bring food on their table.
Well, I think it starts with science removing God from the equation. It's like, how can you have an entire thing set up to where you exclude the creator of everything? Or the creator of whatever. I'm not going to study a car and then just be like, oh, well, let's ignore the Ford. It's like, no, I mean, you have to know, it makes everything make sense to know who the person is and why they did.
That reminds me. Let me answer this. I was about to share an advertisement about an antidepressant drug, because that's the thing with the US. There's like a drug for anything, and it's on your TV all the time, and you feel sick.
Yeah.
And I just skipped it to the end where it was the side effects. You might suffer from stroke. You might have a heart attack. Please don't take it if you have this, and if you have, and they flush those so quick, and it's like, wait a minute. Keep an eye out. Next time you see an ad on TV, wait for the end where they are squeezing in all
do you know
the
who
word.
Jeff Foxworthy is?
I'm
Yes.
who?
Jeff Foxworthy?
No.
He's a comedian. You've got to hear. You're gonna love this, Achilles. This guy does a skit, or what do they call it? A bit on the side effects of drugs, and it's friggin' hilarious.
Okay.
It's hilarious. I'll find it and I'll put it in private chat or something.
Oh, good. Or you can put it up on here.
Now the other thing you said though, that made me stop the sharing. What was the?
I said something about
removing God.
Removing science. God. Science.
Okay,
says
I remembered it. I discovered something recently by accident. Did you know that scorpions on UV light, like if you have a UV flashlight, they are bright blue.
Yeah, they
glow. They glow in the dark if you have a UV light. So I watched a video / documentary. I can't call it documentary because it was like half an hour, about how science doesn't understand why would the Scorpio evolve into having that ability. And I was like, that's the problem. The problem is that you're seeing it from the perspective of evolution, and you don't see it from a perspective of a creator. There is no reason why it would decide to evolve that ability. But if there is another animal out there that sees in UV light, like an insect, it will spot the scorpion immediately, and it will go away. But they don't see it that way. They see it from the perspective of the Scorpio evolving. Why did it evolve that ability? Where does it need it? So science doesn't have an answer.
No.
And they don't have an answer because they've taken God out of the equation.
Well, and that's the problem. That is their answer, because their answer is that things mutate, because that takes energy to mutate, whether you believe in God or not God, or atheism. It takes energy. So you don't have a lot of stuff mutate in an animal that it doesn't need. So therefore you have all this stuff in nature that we could see. If nothing else, it's like, that's gorgeous. That is beautiful. And we're the only creatures that actually can see it. And at the same time, in those kind of things, and in the same time, though, God novelly predicted that he created this planet for humans and for his glory, for his beauty, and so it's crazy, guys. Their answer shows that they're wrong and is evidence against them. Let's see that one, Achilles.
Since this is the show of a brilliant creator,
thank you.
why not show that amazing thing? I didn't know, guys. We're not going camping without a UV light anymore.
Especially in Texas, where they have thousands of these puppies run around.
Look at this.
Oof. Ew. They're like spiders, but
Worse.
just with big
But way
pinchers.
worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
I had a friend that had some of them as pets, and that's how I knew they glowed in the dark. He had like a black light on him or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah. See, like that. That's what they
Man,
look like in black light.
how can you hold it? Is this guy nuts?
I know, right? It's like a land lobster.
But worse, man, that sucker, it hurts when it pokes you. Not that I've had it happen. We have a little.
It doesn't poke you. It freaking. Oh, its tail. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little one here in the West that's kind of like a bee sting, so it can get you if you're allergic to it, but it still hurts like heck if you get.
Oh, it hurts, and we have them here too.
Man,
look at this.
Kind of makes you kind of makes you wonder where they get the glow stick stuff from.
Yeah,
like, or where they,
Well, and like they say, the same thing with the firefly, with the little creatures under the sea that have that. It's just crazy.
That's really cool. That kind of like takes the creepy part away, whenever you see like how cool they are.
Yeah.
So this video from Veritasium is trying to analyze how they evolved that and why. And my answer is, you will never find it, because you don't take it in unison with the other animals. Like, this is a dangerous animal. It kills. So there might be other animals out there that see in UV light and they get warned. This is how simple it is.
My answer would be believe. Just believe, everyone.
We are. We don't want to offend anybody here on Proverbs Guys Ministry. All right, since you started it,
the evolutionists, we are here to insult them, make them wake up.
Believe on evolution.
Okay, watch this one since we're starting this way. This guy's funny. I love this guy. And this is again going in your same vein of how things can, and this is for defense stuff, but where are we? Is it this one? Yep, this one.
I'm not going camping without a UV light again.
Various creatures in the ocean. They usually do this when they see a predator. They'll just that the mimic octopus comes from Earth. Their camouflage abilities are just way too good. They could change their color, texture, and shape to mimic various creatures in the ocean. They usually do this when they see a predator. They'll just turn into something like a jellyfish or a lionfish, which are highly venomous creatures. Ain't no predator want that smoke, and they could change their entire shape faster than we could blink. That's a superpower. Not to mention, they could use this superpower for offense too. When it comes time to eat, they'll turn into something like a crab, and then they'll go make buddies with another crab. Once that dumb crab trusts them, the octopus will turn them into calories. That's messed up. Like they say, be careful who you trust, especially when there's aliens in the ocean. I'm not positive that the mimic octopus comes from Earth. Their camouflage abilities are just...
This guy is and I love this guy because he's a comedian. I don't know what his beliefs are. I don't care what they are.
We just heard his beliefs. Wherever he doesn't understand, it's aliens.
I think that he's joking on that, but and he might believe in aliens, but help. What am I doing?
This is the answer of science, aliens, because we are coming so close scientifically to have no doubt that there has to be a creator. So they are saying that creator must have been aliens because it can't be God. We even heard Dawkins saying that it probably aliens made us. Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, let me we'll do this one first, and then I'll comment on the awesome octopus.
I hope it doesn't get you in trouble or anything. Because,
No,
I don't know.
1 minute shouldn't. No.
Okay.
Side effects are 50 times worse than what the medicine cures. It's like, try new FloraFlor. For itchy, watery eyes, it's FloraFlor. Side effects may include nausea, vomiting, water weight gain, lower back pain, receding hairline, eczema, seborrheic psoriasis, itching, chafing clothing, liver spots, blood clots, ringworm, excessive body odor, uneven tire wear, pyorrhea, gonorrhea, diarrhea, halitosis, scoliosis, loss of bladder control, hammer toe, the shanks, low sperm count, warped floors, cluttered drawers, hunchback, heart attack, low resale value on your home, feline leukemia, athlete's foot, head lice, clubfoot, MS, MD, VD, fleas, anxiety, sleeplessness, drowsiness, poor gas mileage, tooth decay, parvo, warts, unibrow, lazy eye, fruit flies, chest pains, clogged drains, hemorrhoids, dry heaving, and sexual dysfunction.
But yeah, you have clean eyes though.
Not, and probably one of the side. It's probably blindness too is one of the side effects that they missed. No, and that's the problem, is that is actually what they do, and they push it. That's why I knew that little cure-all thing. Besides, before that, we found out that they lied to us. That wow, it didn't stop you from getting that little cold. It didn't stop anything from spreading it, getting it. That they lied to us about was the thing is that there was no side effects. It was the only thing on the planet that you could take from a pharmaceutical that you had no side effects.
It had one, a big one, No,
they said there was no side effect.
Yeah.
And
but
so
later,
as soon as you say that, you know they're lying to you. So,
Yeah,
and of
everything
course,
has side effects.
Everything has
everything. Yeah.
everything.
Check this out. Check this out. This is an antidepressant.
Here's me, and here's my depression. Before I started taking Abilify, I was taking an antidepressant alone. Most days I could put on a brave face and muddle through, but other days I still struggled with my depression. I was managing, but it always had a way of creeping up on me. I felt stuck. I just couldn't shake my depression, so I talked to my doctor. He said adding Abilify to my antidepressant could help with my depression, and that some people had symptom improvement as early as 1 to 2 weeks. He also told me about a free trial offer from Abilify.
Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the side effects.
It's her demon. See, it's her little demon hanging out.
Yeah.
Right.
Confusion to address a patient's take antidepressant changes in behavior. Call your doctor.
Okay, half the advertisement is side effects. More than half. 37 seconds of no side effects, and now we're going to the side effects.
And look, her signing a waiver.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
And she's signing a waiver.
That's where her faith is going.
Or if you have unusual changes in behavior or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Elderly dementia patients taking Abilify have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor if you have high fever, stiff muscles, and confusion to address a possible life-threatening condition, or if you have uncontrollable muscle movements, as these could become permanent. High blood sugar has been reported with Abilify and medicines like it. In some cases, extreme high blood sugar can lead to coma or death. Other risks include decreases in white blood cells, which can be serious, dizziness upon standing, seizures, trouble swallowing, and impaired judgment or motor skills.
Depression used to define me. Then my doctor...
Yeah, right. So you'll die happy. That's what the ad is trying to tell you. You won't be depressed, but you're not surviving this.
But look at that
Still
picture.
hanging out right there.
That was the Foxworthy lazy eye. It causes lazy eye. Look at that. Even the cartoon thing has her with lazy eye. Was that one of the side effects? Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm telling you, that's what that thing represents, is the demon that keeps her depressed.
Yes.
And they don't even realize it. They did that and didn't even realize what that was.
All you gotta do is realize there's a God. You will no longer be depressed. But they're not telling you that.
Well,
and I do agree I do agree with that. This goes back to what they're being taught. They have been so indoctrinated into the scientific approach of things that they don't even believe in a God anymore. So,
You know what cures depression though? Hard work. If you're just working your ass off, if you're just working all the time, you don't even think about. I mean, when you're just sitting around with that demon with you, like that commercial was showing, it's just constantly eating away at your tolerance for life, And of course, it's only attacking you. That's why you want to,
I'll tell you this, my dear. Depression pushed me into riding, and then I kept riding more to run away from it. So I started racing. I got super, super busy exercising all the time for races, but depression wouldn't go away.
Yeah, but
And
you were trying to run from it, and you can't. There ain't nothing on earth fast enough.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it only got away when I started working for the church. I don't want to say working for God, because who am I to, work for God? But working for the church, starting making videos about becoming somebody useful. That's what killed my depression.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose.
And all you got to do is just spend time with the Lord, and He naturally, you're just going to immediately, you're always going to want to share that with other people. I think that that's His number one and most important thing is to get the gospel out.
Exactly. And not to just,
I don't think He cares about our works and our sins and I don't think He even thinks about that. He's like, if your baby's drowning, you don't give a crap about the person that is going to get them, right? Like, you're not thinking about all the wrong stuff they're doing. You're just like, thank you.
Yeah. Or you don't care. You don't care how it fell in the pool.
Exactly.
Not at the time. Now, if somebody threw it in the pool, you still save it, and then you go after that thing. But at the time that there's things going on, no, it's
but we're
saving
not
it.
going to care after,
Well, if somebody threw my baby into a pool, I'm going to save the baby, and then that person is not going to be able to throw anybody else in a pool.
Yeah, God will take care of those as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's with us, but I'm just saying, worldly speaking. But but not to say that it doesn't, because like Maud, you and we've had that talk. There are sad things in the world, and God, being our heavenly Father, is going to understand. He will take us under His arm when we're sad, when there is things that are depressing. You call on the name of the Lord. And when King David, most of the Psalms is like some pretty bad, not most, but there's so many bad things going on. And King David is like, oh Lord, comfort me. And so not to say that, you're not going to have any problems. It is that we have a physician that we can go to. And then people who love you and love us, they're like, hey, come alongside us, that reflect that part of God that, we're all walking through this place that has some pretty depressing stuff.
How can you not be depressed in the world the way it is? In a video I made in 2018 called Depression Killer, and somewhat I think the depression killer is exactly what we're talking about. It's only understanding that you are a child of God and you are not alone. Because the core of depression is that I'm alone. Deep inside, I feel alone, even if I'm married, my wife doesn't get me,
yeah, and you're never alone. There's always demons around.
Well, yeah.
That's one of them. That's one of them that makes you feel that way. It wants you to kill yourself. That's what they do. That's their whole thing. They just want to drive you. It doesn't matter how they do it. You got to just resist. You got to resist and be like, screw you.
And that's and it's very hard when this system has convinced you to go put more demons in you in the form of spirits, which is
some
alcohol.
of them are fun.
alcohol, drug,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried many. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say, I'm not gonna lie.
And look, I'm
So,
not saying that that's a license to sin or anything. I mean, that's gonna happen. It doesn't matter if you have a license or not,
but
right?
it's not
So
helping. But it's definitely not helping.
it's not helping,
It's
but
like a Band-Aid,
yes, I know, but well, we're all gonna die anyway. You know?
Yeah, but especially,
Right? Like,
especially,
let's just at least friggin' laugh and have fun about stuff.
especially alcohol. When I felt, oh, I need a drink, it always made me think more wrong about the problem that I was having. Instead of, I was depressed for a girl that didn't want me, and I drank alcohol. I got worse. I never got better.
Because it's a depressant.
It's not fixing the problem anyway.
Alcohol just adds to it. I mean, if you're going to try to get I mean, I haven't used them, but isn't there like uppers that make you woohoo?
Look, yeah.
Yeah, but uppers leave, and then you go down further than when you went.
Look, it says to give someone grieving alcohol. So, right there. I'm not saying we're all grieving all the time, but that would be a grieve. I know exactly how that feels. So
I'm not because I'm Greek. Whoever comes in Greece to visit me, we are having alcohol. Like, it's a part of my culture here, but it's not that like the alcohol you have over there. These are like different things that you don't need to drink like a whole bottle. You drink one little glass and you see a different world. So it's not like I'm against it. It's just not the fix for depression. It's adding to it.
you can't make it a lifestyle.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah,
I love hanging out, but the sun is coming up. I do gotta go. It's not even 5 anymore.
Vampires go to bed when the sun comes up.
Just put your shades down, Achilles. You don't have to climb into the casket.
Or bring the thing with you.
Yeah, put the computer.
If I close the blinds, the sun is still going up. Like, it's not stopping. I just don't see it anymore. My skin will not melt, but what does a vampire do during the day? I don't know.
What time is it for you when my show's on?
7:30 afternoon.
And so in the evening time?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's like a really good time then.
Yeah. But so good that I'm usually busy.
Well, of course, because you just woke up like a few hours ago.
Tomorrow I gotta wake up early. I have to go to the post office and ship something to the US because I sold the motherboard. And if I don't ship it Monday, I'm gonna get like, oh, I want my money back and that kind of crap. So I do gotta go.
You gotta please your customer. Don't you mean you have to wake up today?
Yeah, and definitely like 5 hours from now I have to be up.
All right, get out of here. Where's the mother in this group to tell that little boy to go to sleep?
She goes to bed with chicken.
I thought you meant me.
Yeah, Steph, tell him to go to bed. You got to be the mother hen around here.
Go to bed.
Okay, Mom. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Start the show.
Praise the void before you go to bed.
Void. Yeah.
I have the best show planned. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. Whenever I do a show, you guys better watch it. It's going to be hilarious.
I'm thinking, let me throw this as a suggestion. A panel, as you said, me, you, BBM. I can even take Aiden, because there are things that are happening right now in the world that I do agree with him. So if we have a foundation we can agree with, we could go to places we don't agree with, we don't agree to, and being respectful. So it could be fun. Yeah. I'm just saying. Then if we add, others, it's gonna be a mess. I don't know if you noticed in Gigi's show, I got in to say a couple of things, and then a new person for me came in, Pixie.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna share an opinion, but she kept ranting for like hours, and I just left. So, you know,
Aw.
yeah, she didn't like something I said, and instead of getting it from Aiden, I got it from Pixie. Nah, I don't care.
Yeah, that won't happen on my show. So, I mean,
There were
I know that they gang up on you sometimes, but it isn't as bad for sure. And if
I
it's only a
think
couple of us, because I'm going to start doing closed shows because I just the last few shows, Wild Heart has come on and he just triggers me so much. Like, and I like the guy and I want to be friends and stuff, and I just can't. It just drives me crazy. That combined with a bunch of other stuff, it's just like a headache.
Yeah.
Because everybody's been complaining, saying that they don't like the people that come on, and it's like, well, if you guys are here to watch me talk, then I'll just do it like that. And if anybody does want to come in like old school, like one of you guys or like Big Bad Mama for sure, I can always send you a link or something. But as far as open shows, I'm just going to like do them like once in a while and, see how that goes. Like maybe like when I do my night streams, but I'm just going to do things
it's
different.
yeah, it's unpredictable and it can get very crazy very quick.
Yeah. And see, somebody also suggested, well, why don't I just not let Wildheart on? And it's like, yeah, well, before him, it was Tim. Everybody, I had my people that are close to me complaining like, oh, it ruined my day. And it's like, I want my show to be fun. I want the truth to be on there, and I want us to have the debates and stuff. But it's like, I don't want it to just get trashed and, just constantly wearing people out. It's just... because most of the people that I want to come on can't even come on because it's in the afternoon. They're all at work, So I'm just going to do it like, let people on whenever I feel like it, but open panels ain't happening.
Monologues with you reading comments.
I know, that's hilarious. I love that part.
Yeah, the way you're doing it now, you are getting a grip of who is out there. And then when you open the panel, it's first come, first served.
Yeah.
And following the chat, you already know who comes first. But sometimes I've noticed you can get surprised, and the first person is like Bruce, and it's like, where did you come from? But
yeah, that would surprise the crap out of me because Bruce has never come on my show, I don't think.
He's been hanging around Gigi lately.
The one that surprised me was Jill. When I seen him backstage, I was like, what the hell? Like I never expected him to come to my channel and try to come on, because he doesn't talk to women at all. I mean, he's very rude for the most part, but I like the guy. I think he's right about a lot of stuff, and he's playing a part or whatever. So I was excited about it, and then I'm like thinking, does he know that this channel is a chick's channel? I don't know. It just shocked the crap out of me. I think that's probably the I don't know who shocked the most crap.
Does he have an issue with women? Like
no, he's like old school. Like he definitely doesn't want to be in the same room with a woman a non-believer for sure. But unmarried women and stuff like that, he's like a real strict Calvinist,
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah. He's cool though. I mean, he's been really nice to me, so.
All right. I hope to see you there. I gotta wave out.
Yes, sir. You're already
have a great
cool.
show. I'm out of here. Have a great show, you two. I'll see you soon. Good night. Good night. God bless.
No, and that's
stay out.
Yeah. I booted him.
Good.
And so no, with that, it's like having a show. If you can't, just let other people talk, it's kind of, that's where to me it's a drag, or you just, I have a problem, not shutting up, but
that's okay. It lets me put my artwork up. Not my artwork, but
oh, cute.
Isn't that funny?
Corona.
instead of Mona Lisa.
That's
Get it?
funny. Yes.
Are you sure? This one is one of my favorites, though. This one right here.
Oh,
It still cracks me up. It doesn't matter.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh man, and I gotta get going. Gemma's got to take me to my truck. I left it down at the nursery. But now, when's your next show?
I don't know. It'll be soon though, and it's gonna be awesome. So don't miss it.
Oh man, you better advertise it.
Why? Well, whoever shows up, shows up.
Well, now
I have a really fun. We're gonna have. We're starting a new religion. It's called Atheanity.
Oh, leave it to you. Now, is this your old channel or is this a new channel?
No, it's still the same channel.
Okay, you had just erased that and redid it.
No, I did. Yeah, I hit it and then unhit it, but that was a while ago.
Okay, good. So I'll just have to make sure that I've still, because again, and I don't even think it's malicious, but so many times I get dumped from who I have the little notice bell. You know,
yeah, the notification.
Yeah. So that
yeah, you'll get notified. You should anyway. If you don't,
tough, then I deserve not to. I see how it is.
I didn't say tough, but yeah. But all right, you better go get your car.
Yes. All right, I'll show this the octopus again, but you know, it can change to mimic its background in a blink of an eye. Dude, how does that mutate? Come on now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And then it can. How does it know that a coral snake is poisonous or that? No, it's so.
But what?
You know,
but what
how
about
does
Dan?
What?
How do you explain this? What about this? This is evolution. You're talking about octopus. How do you explain this?
Is that a picture of Claude?
Probably.
He was here, and we have good time together, so I can do that. Okay, Gemma's out the door. Over at his uncle or his nephew's house, who's 18.
Well, thank you.
Have fun.
This has been fun.
Awesome. Yes.
All right. Bye.
God bless your week. How do we get out of here? Okay. Thank you, everybody. All right, me and Maud, and Achilles. If nobody else is here, that's your loss. Okay, we're supposed to do something here. Is it music? Not that. Well, that was scary. God bless everybody.